when that happens, we'll be playing some Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And I'm just going to hit refresh here on my little token once or twice.
So that's when I got the results back of my colonoscopy.
Oh,
are we live?
that is, yes. That is,
Do tell.
so wait, maybe not, perhaps.
Oh, we
Nope,
missed
we
all
are
of that?
it.
No, it's live, offline. There we go. I have now stabilized. I can see the chat room. I can see us. Yay. So we're playing some Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. We are working our way through Tyranny of Dragons. And 20 sides to every story is a group of people who like playing games together. If you'd like to join us, please do hop in on the Discord. We've got a bunch of games going. We've got more ones coming up all the time. I know we've got a community campaign that has some openings over the next 3 weeks or so. So if you want to get in and play with us, that's a great way to do that. I am personally starting to look at Dune, the Adventures in the Imperium role-playing game. So if anybody happens to have any experience in that, do please hop in and feel free to give me some pointers. I know that's a fairly new-ish release, but as I'm going through the rulebook, always happy to have somebody who's played a game or two bounce questions and ideas off of.
I understand that there is a desert involved.
There is a desert involved, a whole planet, as I understand it.
What about a Kwisatz Haderach? Is that involved at all?
Yeah, he's roaming about.
Okay.
But he's a little young at the moment, at the start of the campaign, so he'll probably
Extreme.
grow into that.
Okay. Good to know.
But
Is Sting involved?
Sting is always involved.
With how much clothes? I want to know if there's a Speedo involved.
There's probably. I don't think we're gonna get that particular fan service on screen.
Will Toto be providing the
Ralph?
soundtrack? I want to know if Toto is involved in the soundtrack.
If you play, a Speedo can be involved.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
But it's a desert planet. Won't the sand
And
make
a
like
youth
the Speedo
small
uncomfortable?
And
T-shirt.
a youth small T-shirt.
I mean, the sand of the desert planet is why the Speedo is comfortable. You don't want friction under the clothing, so as little clothing as possible.
Okay, that makes
heat
perfect sense. Okay.
Anyone who's worn a Speedo in the sand probably would be arguing with you right now.
There's a little chafing going on.
It was an armored Speedo, though, to be fair. I mean,
and
it looked like it was made of epoxy.
And they do have
like
personal
codpiece come to mind.
Yeah, they do have personal shields though to deflect most of the sand away. So only the slow sand will make it.
That's right.
But today,
only the slow sand.
Only the slow sand. Awesome. Today, however, we are working our way through Tyranny of Dragons, and the party is currently on their way to a meeting with a council of metallic dragons. 5 representatives of dragonkind, 1 from each of the metallic colored races. The party has been officially, unofficially put forward by their good friend Leosin, as well as Degult Neverember, while the Council of Waterdeep still debates and is a little bit locked on who would make the best representatives. Leosin and Degult have sort of slid the characters in there under the auspices of a previous agreement so that they can start the negotiations and get things underway. This cult is a bit of a concern indeed. Now, the party will be arriving on Dragonback. Elia, or R.T. Eliarchanosis. Nope, I'm not going to get that one. We're going with Elia. The Silver Dragon has provided them with transport up to the Nether Mountains, away up here in the north and east of the Sword Coast, beyond the High Forest. The party just recently defeated the Green Dragon Chuth, defeated the Green Worm Speaker Neuronvein, and paid a short visit to shows folks down in the southeast near the Giant Plains, where they discovered a great number of chromatic dragons have infested the plains and the mountains away to the east. Show's brother was met up with in the mountains to the west, and Show has discovered that her parents, as well as Rob Oak's daughter, are a bit cut off from the rest of the world in the mountains to the south of the Giant's Plain by quite a large number of chromatic dragons on patrol. The party has recently gained the ability to handle some long-distance communication, as well as starting to understand the benefits of teleportation. So fast travel will shortly be enabled. But for the moment, they will be speaking on behalf of the council with on the behalf of the Council of Waterdeep with the Council of Dragons. Their negotiation authority is maybe a little questionable at the moment, but they've been questionable before, and we'll see how that goes. Now, the party's going to have about 24 hours of prep time. They are in a small cave complex in the Nether Mountains. It's reasonably comfortable. Accommodations have been provided, sized for humanoids. The rooms are fairly rough, fairly stone. They look like, comfortable enough for an ambassador to stay a day or two and then be on their way. And in the same token, the dragons look comfortable here, but this isn't a lair. There's no real ostentation here. Everything's fairly functional. So, as I get ready to turn it back over to the characters, what I'm going to ask everybody to do is give me a little catch-up on what your character is looking like at the moment, how they're presenting themselves at this time. And let me know if there was any stuff that you want to make sure I'm aware of that you did in the days leading up to this. We did have a level up, so some new abilities kicked in. We did have the opportunity to acquire some stuff from towns, so if there's anything important that you want to let me know that you have, do so. And then the final thing, do please let me know kind of how you look and how you're presenting yourself. One of the key components here that some may not have done is if you're sporting any dragon skin, do let me know. Because a entire green dragon's worth of dragon scale became available. I did hear that certain items were being made, but let me know if you're wearing dragon skin into a Council of Dragons, just as a set there. We'll go left to right on the way I happen to drop my characters onto the sheet in front of me here. And let's just kick over there. Kind of start setting them. And that's going to lead us off, actually, with Anrin. Anrin, if you could give a little introduction of yourself and then what you're looking like at the moment.
Okay. So I'm Maureen. I am playing Anrin Skyborn. I am a wood elf, wild elf barbarian, which doesn't mean that I'm not educated. Thank you very much. I am rather young, and I have chosen to be stubborn about many things, including dressing appropriately for meetings with dragons. So I tend to wear the clothing that I feel most comfortable in, and that tends to be sort of bark cloth that my mother um, figured so that I could wear it. Wherever I went, she deemed that good enough for most things, and so do I. It's was getting a little tatty, so I'm a little bit worried about that. All in all, I tend to be methodical until I'm not, and I get bored very easily.
Fair enough. That'll then tick us over. Chiquito, I have as the next set. Chiquito, what do we got going on?
Well, I'm Isaac. I'm playing Chiquito. Chiquito is a Warforged druid. He would be dressed normal, I guess. He would maybe have asked the rest of the group if they thought he should figure things out. But I think he kind of, I mean, his branches now at this point have grown a bit. They're looking a bit. He has a little bit more going this way, a little more going this way. He is he's feeling pretty comfortable in his own skin. The crack over his face is wedged out a little bit more. He's put some eyebrows on, maybe happy eyebrows. But other than that, I think Chiquito would just be they're ready to go. Hey, why change for these dragons? I mean, we're gonna help each other out. There's no reason to sell them something that we're not. So far we've been okay. There's no reason to change who we are for these guys.
You gonna make me do this? You gonna make me ask directly?
I wouldn't. What other detail would I ever change about? Whatever detail would Chiquito ever change about himself? That would be that.
What? So
Important.
you're comfortable in your own skin? Would that be the skin you own from other people, or would that be the bark and metal?
The bark and metal is
Okay.
what he's doing.
And
And
do
there
you
is
happen to have a nose attached at the moment?
before they walked in, he would go, "Hey, Anrin,"
Yeah.
and he'd go, "Rah!" And the nose would be the nose would be "Rah!" And then he'd take it off, and then he'd pop it off and put it back in his little pouch. But other than that, no, he's not wearing his nose at the moment.
Yes, out of everybody in the group, I think the only one who can't use just "I look like normal" is Chiquito. So, but thank you. That gives me a good idea as to what's going on there. Moving oak, yeah,
Moving ochre.
moving ochre, right ochre there. Rob Oak.
Oh, I thought you were setting this up to go to show. I didn't realize the oak was okay.
It's left to
I'm
right.
joking.
You know,
I'm
but
joking.
I'm so confused. I mean,
The
perhaps
question is,
someday show will be in Oaks. We don't know.
Oh, I don't think that would be okay. As far as taking, like, I don't see show taking another person's name. But anyway, but that's up to show. And the fates. The question I have is are you asking, like, as we arrive, like we just get off the Silver Dragon's body, or do we have time to clean up as we present ourselves?
Time to clean up and present yourselves. Kind of what will you be presenting yourself as you're moving about through the course of the day? And you'll probably have a change of clothes between today and the actual council meeting. But how do you look as you're moving about?
Well, if Rob had time to shave, he would look a little less like scruffy Bob Dylan, like when he was starring in Sam Peckinpah movies, and more towards Bob Dylan when he was in the Blonde on Blonde period, because he hasn't had a haircut in a long time. And so Rob's got a giant fro under his hat.
Okay.
And when he takes his hat off, it just poofs. I will drop a picture in the Discord for people to see Bob Dylan in all of his haloed glory. But that's what Bob's got going on. But he's clean shaven.
Okay.
He is. I'm Paul. I play Rob Oakes. He is a College of Lore bard. He is a folk singer. He likes to collect information about the various species, races, ethnicities of the Sword Coast, and he's collecting them all to make a songbook. He's recently had his heart put at ease by the fact that his daughter Sarah Lowlands is safe with shows people. That makes him very happy, and now he's ready to go and take care of business with a little bit less of a load on his heart. So there's a little bit of pep in Rob's step right now, and he'd be in his traveling leather armor, and he wears a poncho and a hat with a giant feather. Well, not feather, several flowers in a bouquet around the one side. And that's Rob.
Sounds good. And with that, that'll kick us over to Yaz. Yaz, what are we doing and what are we sporting?
I'm Jenna. I play Yaz. He is a lizard folk hexblade warlock. And Yaz is going to, well, he doesn't know if word has gotten around, but if these dragons are on the up and up, they may have heard that there is a new lord of the Mire of Dead Men, and they're probably expecting him to look like Sharp. So he's going to dress up in the outfits that he got for when they went to go see in Waterdeep. So like the blue, the little pib staff that has the nice little mechanical fish that Anran bought for him. It's going to be like just right there. And he is he's going to try to look kind of, I guess, concerned, to show that like we need like this alliance sort of thing. So he's not gonna be like, he's gonna be like kind of like, like a little bit like, yeah, I am here, but also kind of like, I'm here, but we need your help,
Okay.
please. And that's what he looks like.
Sounds good. That that paints the picture. And so last that'll bring us to show. Show introduction, and what are you sporting?
Hi, I'm Ed. I'm playing Sholara Gothakanathi, a half orc, half Goliath barbarian with blue skin and a fairly formerly kind of a mohawk with the underside shaved, but it's grown out quite a bit as we've been traveling. So longer hair that she's braided down the sides to keep it out of the way, even as it's getting longer. And she's wearing her burgundy battle dress, her adventure dress. She's wearing a dress that is about just past the knees in the front and back, but is cut up on the sides to about mid-hip in order to allow for movement. She's not wearing armor. She does have a green dragon scale shield, which she will probably not carry around a ton here because she's been led to believe that we're not in danger here. But she certainly doesn't hide it as she carries it either. It is a prize that she won in combat, so it's not something she's going to shy away from.
Sure.
All
Awesome.
right, Yaz is definitely going to be hiding his dragon stuff. I had that in my mind and I forgot to say it, but it was there.
No problem. So awesome. And you did arrive with Elia. Elia helped everybody get everything off her back. She converted into a human form, and then was able to show you into your rooms and show you where you can put your stuff, where food can be found. There's no real servants here. It seems to be just you and the 5 dragons. And they mostly move about through the human quarters or humanoid quarters as humans, but they seem much more comfortable in their dragon forms. So generally, you see them moving about in their great big dragon scaled forms. The 5 dragons that are moving about the place are Elia, who is a silver dragon, Protanther, a gold dragon, Eleuthera, a brass dragon, Nimur, a bronze dragon, and Tasmikella, a copper dragon. Elia kind of leaves you to yourselves. You have a moment in your room. And then before you can really quite get settled in, a young man, Nimur, the bronze dragon, comes in. He's yawning. He's stretching. He's got a cup of coffee in his hand. And he's like, hey, welcome. It's fantastic to see you. Tell me everything you did today.
A very slight tale as we rode on the back of a silver dragon all day.
Oh, that was
Today
fun.
was not very eventful. I mean,
So-
it's eventful in that we don't normally ride on dragons, but it's only the one thing.
I mean, it was a pretty big thing, but I mean, yeah,
It's a
you're
big
right.
thing, but it's a short list.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Wow, what you do today?
I mean, I flew around as a dragon, so
Yep.
I mean,
But is
I
that
can
something you do all the time?
I can respect that.
pretty frequently. Actually, it's the walking around as human. Yeah, human. That's kind of the exception for me. It's neat. It's a little small, but
You drink coffee
I
as a
So
dragon?
Sho will look down at his human shape and say, "I can see that it is."
but yeah, the coffee helps a lot actually. It kind of warms you up inside. Humans get cold so fast.
True.
Wouldn't know. I'm
It's
not
true.
human.
They're
Have you
warmer
put-
than me, but it's
Have
true.
you tried putting whiskey in the coffee?
I haven't.
I'll reach into my bag and produce a bottle of whiskey and tip some into his coffee.
That early show.
Smooth.
So far, so good.
So, that has a
You're
bit.
you're okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
But
Take
that,
my
you said
beer.
that you liked that it warmed you inside. Now is even more.
That is, yes, it is doing that thing. What were you doing like 3 days ago?
3 days. That's a day before we met your folks, right, Show? Or your brother. Sorry, we only met your brother. Sorry about that.
As we were traveling, I think we were traveling toward away from the forest. Was that the right? Is that the day?
We were traveling away from the Reaching Wood, yes. We had some time there.
And it was there that Elia met us. Is that right?
Yeah, and then she took us to the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you
That's it.
decide to do that?
Do which part?
The part where you came with Elia.
Oh,
We were in
I've heard that, the metallic-y looking dragons are good folk and good-hearted and.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we are
Yeah.
100%, and that's so. Why did you do it though?
We
What do you
were
mean?
asked to.
Were there others that asked and declined? Are we idiots? What do we do?
No, I just, I mean,
Please
I
don't.
just think it's amazing because you could have done anything. I mean,
What?
anything.
You're not.
Is he's standing in the where is he standing in the doorway of the
Not like he's not like
room,
blocking
or-
the doorway, but he's kind of following you around conversationally.
Chiquito's sitting on the bed. He can
Come here. How about you take a seat down with us and
Oh,
we
yeah,
can talk
yeah.
a little bit. Go
He
ahead.
kind of sits
Come
down.
over
He's
here.
got his coffee. He's like, it
Here
just.
you go. Have a berry. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, well, that's filling.
Yummy. Yeah. It sure is.
I'm assuming that was a good bear.
Yeah, it was.
We were asked to come here by the people of Waterdeep when, as to see if there was an understanding that could be reached.
Right.
I think I'm picking up what you're laying down there. I think all of us feel like there's a great big danger to the small folk of this world, and I'm sort of the mind to get busy doing or get busy dying. In fact, to quote the greatest bard that has ever lived, Robert Zimmerman Dillon, those not busy being born are busy dying. We have got to keep going, and we got to act for good, or else you're letting the train take you wherever it's going. And right now, that train's taking us in a bad place. I don't know what a train is,
What?
but I've read.
Isn't that the thing that the ladies wear that kind of goes way out behind them?
Oh yes, I have a
Right.
dress with one of those.
Yeah, so if you're standing on one of those, you have to go where the lady's walking. And sometimes the lady's walking in a way you can't go, and you're going to have to either get off that train and stand your ground or stop that lady from going in that direction. Doesn't have to be a lady, by the way. I suppose just about anybody could wear something with a train. I mean, just
There's
thinking
something
out
with the
loud.
train.
Yeah, why not?
We are getting dangerously close to idioms.
Sorry, I'll back off.
Sorry, I just had to come ask. I mean, I find it fascinating that you can all have so many choices and then just choose the one you want and do it. That's just
Right.
You
Ooh,
don't have choices.
Well, yeah, I mean, you chose to sit down next to me. I mean, you came in here.
oh
Whatnot? What?
oh no. I mean, I can. I mean, I have choice. I could stand up. I could sit down. But I mean, I have to do good. I'm just amazed by people who can choose.
What do you
do
mean
good.
you have to do good?
Well, I'm a dragon.
I appreciate that you do good.
I
But
mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's great. It's great.
What?
I mean,
No,
Well,
I'm
does
a
that
dragon.
mean that dragons
Yeah.
can only do good?
Well, metallic dragons. I mean, I'm a metallic dragon, so I only do good.
is that what? Yeah.
Not
So
not one metallic dragon's ever gone rogue.
No, I mean,
Oh.
not of their own will. I mean, that,
so it's part of your being?
yeah. I mean, we're made in the image of Bahamut.
Mm.
Well,
I mean, I
not
mean,
anything. I mean, I'm going to. Some of us have been, well, maybe not made in an image, but certainly made and certainly contain the,
I was made.
marks of that making. But I can still choose not to be good if I don't want to be good.
I know it, and that amazes me that you can do that.
Mm.
I mean, I I I can't even like I I can't even think of doing something evil. Like I can't.
Yes.
Like it just like
Well, how do you know it's evil or how do you know it's good?
well, I
I
can't.
mean, it's a very hard thing to figure out.
I mean, I can only think of good things.
That's good. I
But
mean,
what if something bad is happening, can you recognize it as bad, but you
Oh,
can't think of yourself as doing it, but you
right.
can
Like
see it happening at
I can't
okay.
picture myself
well, I mean,
doing it.
to be fair, I couldn't do that either. Like,
Oh,
I mean,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not very familiar with your kind. Can your kind do evil?
I mean, if I felt like it, I'm just saying I don't like have those thoughts. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Like it's
I think
okay. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Is I mean, yeah. I mean, it brings me back to. I mean, so you're just saying is that as dragons, you're not. Hey, it's not. It goes against your whole being to be something you're not, right?
Right, right.
oh
It would be like an evil unicorn. You can't.
You see?
I know this feeling.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the
I
same way. I mean, I was maybe it has something to do with maybe for us, maybe just people along the way, people how we were taught, how we were brought up,
Yeah.
the values and things that we are made. But I mean, we are at this point, we are who we are. We feel the way we do, and we're right there with you.
but I don't think you're not talking about feeling something, are you?
Feeling. Oh, I mean, I have feelings. I mean, I can be like happy and sad, but I mean, I just I can't do evil.
But you don't feel good.
I mean, I feel great.
Okay, no,
That's
let me
the
try this
whiskey.
again. Um,
How do you
Oh,
feel,
oh,
son?
oh no. I feel I'm doing the right thing because I'm doing good, but that's
Right.
the only thing I can do. So I'm just amazed by people who could
So if you were
choose.
like if you were if you were like walking past someone that you're like they weren't like bad, but you didn't like them and you stepped on your foot, like you couldn't do that. It would like go against your whole being.
I mean, if it served a greater good, but I don't know what stepping on their foot would do that would be good.
I don't know.
so
I'm just trying to gain an understanding. Like how you're trying to gain an understanding of us, we're trying to
Oh,
do the
oh,
same thing.
oh yeah. I mean that's amazing. I'm yes, please.
We are doing simulations. We are we are practicing.
think I have a story that might help. So um so let's say that we're standing, that we have a couple of people who are watching somebody, a train go by, a man with the train go by, right? And we see this
Nice.
man with the train go by, and we know that there's another person standing right in front of the man with the train, and that if the person standing in front of the man with the train doesn't move, then the whole world will end. Would you step on the man who's standing in front of the man with the train?
Would I step on one
One
person?
person.
To save a
They would
world?
save the whole world.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That
What?
helps.
What if that man?
Wouldn't you have to?
What if that man
what
was
they say.
someone you were related to?
I mean, I'd be awful sad about it.
Do we know that you can't also save the man?
Did we just break the dragon?
No,
Is
there's
there a
no
way-
choice. No choice.
But how do we know that? Do you know you can't save the man and the
Just-
world?
You just know it.
How though?
That's my question. How do you know it's right?
But how do you know you can't save the man too?
Well, I mean, if you know it, and you mean you know it, then you would know what's right. And from what you're describing, that's saving the world versus one life. I mean, I would die for the world. I would expect they would want to die for the world. If they're good. I mean, if they're human, maybe they wouldn't.
But how do we know we can't save them too?
I mean, I think we should save them too. But if they were good, they would know that by dying they would save the world, so they would want to die because they're good.
Just
If they
stop
were-
the man with the train.
Everything we've done is good. Everything we've done is good so far.
Everything you've done is good.
Yes.
Rob's
Uh,
not gonna.
Because I've
Rob
known it's
can't
right.
co-sign on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We try our best, but
You know, I
mean,
thought about this. I mean, I'm feeling you because earlier a while ago, maybe I mean what 2 days ago, even whatever, however long it's been since we were
4
like
days.
level 2. You know, I wanted to be some dragon a dragon daddy is what I called it. I wanted to go. We found some eggs, and I thought maybe if we brought them up right, they might be able to choose good. But I don't know. I guess we never had that opportunity.
Well,
Apparently there were maybe a red shifty dragon and
oh, well they wouldn't be good.
right.
They would
how
be
do you know?
well if they're chromatic, they have to be primal. Um, you would call that evil. It's not good.
They would not call primal evil.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call primal evil. I think, like, that's hard to answer because like
It's gotten it 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 got
'cause it's
complicated.
yeah, because it's one thing to like like if you're trying to do something to survive, like that's kind of like what animals and peoples are doing. They're trying to survive. But then like for something to be evil, like maybe it's like not like assisting those around you or just doing a bad thing just because you can and it has no good or plus side to it. You're just doing it as just a show of like huh. And I
Or
don't know.
personal advancement beyond mere subsistence.
Mm, mm, mm.
So saying that you could stand in the middle of Waterdeep and
Well, I can't go to
and
Waterdeep.
swing your sword. No, you couldn't.
can't?
You probably and
Even
well,
like when you look like this?
You-
Oh.
Why?
Because of the mythol.
Do we
I don't
do we
know
know
what that
do we
is,
know what
but
that
you-
is or no?
Oh, well, there are several. There are the magics, which sort of is what complicated the other bit. And when you were asking about could I do evil, um, your people, and he's kind of gesturing to Anrin. The old people, um, they took away our minds, and when that happened, we did things that weren't good. But that's over now, and it's over now.
you alive when we did that? When my people did that?
Yeah, well, not the first time, but the last one. Well, I mean, it's only a few hundred years ago. And he's referring to the Draco Rage mythol, which is what reduces dragons to being absolute raving lunatics. It was an ancient spell some 10,000 years ago, and lasted up until about 150 years ago. When it was activated big time, dragons went batshit crazy, and then the mythol was destroyed. However, there is another mythol, one over Waterdeep, which keeps dragons from getting within several miles of that particular city. That one's a little less common knowledge, but those who are interested could find out about it. But the Draco Rage is something that you would have in, recent memory. Maybe not Chiquito for having been new to the area, new to the plane. And I'm not sure, Yaz, how much you cared about such things, but
Yeah.
it is a known threat that every so often, time to hide from dragons. But
That makes me a little bit sad because there are such beautiful clothes you can get there.
I haven't been. Happy to hear about it, and I mean, if they wouldn't, they'd like to take that down. I mean, that'd be awesome. I'm a big fan of the Silverhelm family. You might have met some of them, and you do remember Dala Silverhelm was one of the ones who let you know about where to find information about the Drakthorn. So I mean, I'm always interested in hearing what's going on in town, but yeah, I'm not able to get close.
Was this something you would want?
Oh, I mean, if I could, that would be fantastic.
Perhaps
so.
it could be negotiable then.
Yeah.
I-
Maybe there can be like a dragon day and they have like a festival and like you can like come over and like say hi
Oh,
and like
I mean, that
check
would be
out food.
great.
I think that'd be cool.
That sounds amazing.
Perhaps we can put in word.
Oh, yes,
See
please.
what, yeah. Because
You'd
I
have to
mean,
think-
I don't know. You seem like, a straightforward dragon, and you seem, nice. You seem good. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great.
Question there. You want another? I know it's pretty. You want another berry, or are you good?
Oh, no, I'm okay.
Okay.
That somehow filled me up.
Are you one of the five that we're supposed to be meeting here?
Oh, yeah, didn't I say I'm Namur?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, I'm a lot shorter than I usually am.
No. It's fine. How's what do you think about the other fellow dragons on your panel there?
Oh, I mean, they're all great, really. I mean, I think Prothantor has some stronger issues with your folk.
Hmm.
A little older than I am, been through a few more rages, and it's wearing on the soul. Uh, Taz, great, she's fantastic. Don't lie to her, ever. But other than that, yeah.
Yes, going to keep that in mind. Don't lie. Don't lie to Taz. Okay.
I mean, I think you'll be fine. And could I get maybe an investigation? And if there is any more pointed question, that you're trying to work in there, or any more detail, let me know. Or if you're trying to persuade, I think you've picked up on at least one piece of bait that you might offer out there.
Okay. So you do? Should I do a? I could do a persuasion. That's fine.
If
You
you
said
if you have
for-
something you would like to persuade Nimur to do,
Oh. Hmm.
if there's something that you would like to accomplish, feel free to roll on it and let me know
Their
what you're trying to
insight?
accomplish. You could
That's
certainly
possible.
insight.
Okay,
I'll
I'm gonna
definitely
go-
do a little bit of insight in there.
I
That's
mean,
okay.
you could find out more about Nimur.
Okay, can I help?
Sure,
Not that you usually need it, but I will.
I might need it.
it's
Most of it.
probably not a bad idea that you helped.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yaz is gonna be trying to get more details like on the side. Like so like if you were to go to Waterdeep, like what are like give me like the top 5 things you'd want to do. Like what like so if this does happen, like we can like make it happen.
I mean, I just want to watch all of you just making decisions, like a marketplace, like to just sit there, marketplace of Waterdeep, and watch some of you cheating one another while some of you are helping one another, all like right next to each
Oh,
other.
I know a great place where you can see stuff like that. Like, I mean, I've only been there once, but like I can give you like the best front row seats. Like, I know exactly like the best. I
I'm,
got you. Don't you
I mean,
worry.
Best cheaters.
I, I'll kind of need to stop them, and you can see that he all of a sudden just starts getting visibly twitchy at the idea of watching someone cheat and not intervening. But he's like, I mean, we'll make sure it comes out okay in the end, but just see someone deciding, that would be just. I mean, I enjoy it so much in Waterdeep, in the Waterdeep. Um, so I mean, he's supremely interested in people. Seems like he's probably has been for many, 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 many years, but he just never gets enough of, you know, how are you doing this thing that I cannot do?
Could I?
Decide?
Say again?
You can't decide.
He can't he has no
Yeah.
he can't decide. It's pre-made, or at least he thinks it is.
You, I'm sure you. I mean, you coming here and you're talking to us. I'm sure you've talked to your fellow dragons. What did they have to say about it? What this whole idea of you guys, having this force
Oh,
that doesn't allow you to do it,
I mean we all know it. We're all
right?
made knowing it. Um, and it's just a matter of how we judge the good. I mean, you are all so amazing, and I need to help. And
You're not so bad yourself.
well, thank you.
No.
You're real nice. I really gotta
I'm-
say, he's gonna give him a.
He's gonna put his hand on his shoulder and kind of just shake it a little bit. Nice warm
Yeah, and
like pat too.
he's in it. And you can see he's definitely, taking a gauge of you as you're taking a gauge of him. But he seems all in on. You little mortals are just so nifty.
So quaint.
And so the conversation goes on for a little bit longer. Chiquito, any other insights you're trying to pull out there aside from? I mean, he's really positive on the whole you all situation.
Could I maybe ask what the others think of what's maybe? I mean, just to get any insight on what we're up against, if anyone is what we're looking to help, or maybe what if we could get any insight before we go in there, kind of heads up of what we're going into, what plans are being made.
Well, and he sort of echoes what Elia had given you a little bit of an insight on. Um, the dragons recognize that something needs to be done. There is a unnaturally large gathering of chromatic dragons in the southeast, and something's going to go wrong there. Whether that truly is calling Tiamat back from the hells, or whether it's simply a ploy by humans and devils to influence dragon kinds, neither can be allowed. Um, Protanther feels we could strike now and scatter them. We've done such things in the past. I really do think we ought to let you all take part in this and, show how good you can be to offset how bad you're being.
How bad we're being?
Well, as a people, yeah.
You in general.
We as mortals, not we
You-
personally.
The royal we.
Yes.
Not the
All
opposite
mortal
of the royal
beings
we.
of
The
all
royal
kinds.
you.
Yes. I mean, I feel given the
Yeah.
chance, you're going to shine. It's just some people have noticed the shine has come off a few of your pennies.
That is true.
And
So you have a pretty high bar for what's shiny.
I mean, I think it's amazing that you choose to do good. Just a little disappointing when you choose the other option.
Me or again, everybody?
Oh, I mean, you're
Yeah.
so brief. So I do think of you more in collective.
Like butterflies, perhaps?
It's a butterfly.
It's a being that lives for, in my, compared to my lifetime, it lives for maybe 2 seconds.
I'm not sure I'd even notice one.
That's a
Yeah.
shame.
Yaz is going to like find something to draw on, and he's going to draw him a butterfly.
Little
Oh!
sad because they're very pretty.
Oh, and when you say, oh yeah, oh sure, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like leaves on trees.
But
They're very
alive.
similar.
They flutter, and some of them have different colors. It's
Yeah, tell them-
crazy.
Oh yes,
Yeah, you can tell
very pretty. I don't know that I'd take note of one individually.
So would you recognize me if I came to say hi to you in Waterdeep on Dragon Day?
Sure, probably not.
How about I will put something on my wrist?
Oh, that would
Do you have something that you could give me so you'd know that you gave it to me?
that
I
would
mean,
be
just for that purpose.
that would be very helpful. I will get something. We didn't bring. We get competitive a little, so we
Oh.
try not to bring parts of our horde.
Oh,
So
I see.
I didn't. I should have. I'm gonna go get. I'll wait. I'll send something to you, and you can see you've kind of hit a thing in him again where we have things. I have things. I have great things. I have things that are better than most of them.
I like him. He's fun.
I could spend all day talking to him.
Don't do that. I'll break.
Well, I am very certain that you have things that are better than them.
I do. I will get you something that I will remember, and it will be perfect for you.
That would be good because I would like to talk to you if there is a Dragon Day.
I'm looking forward to it. And with that, Namur is, he's still companionable. He'll, drink some coffee with you, that sort of thing. But it seems like he made his visit and sort of took in you all, and then is getting ready to head back out.
No, that was awful.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought it was exciting and entertaining.
okay, so I had a conversation with my Gam Gam, and she told me something about the people that I was with. So it's pretty much not very different from what Nemesis just said about us, which is we don't last, we're ephemeral. So how can you care about ephemeral beings? So we need to be careful, guys. I won't tell you what she told me to do. I didn't do it.
Hey, go ahead.
It's a good point though. Like
Go on.
like as compared to them, and what
Sure
they're
about Chiquito. He might live very forever. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
it's true.
Well, if they start,
Although he might turn into a tree.
But
It'd
he'll,
still
but
be a
he'll,
tree
I
that
try
lives
to keep pruning
forever.
it. I don't want to let it take over.
but he'll
completely.
still
Listen,
be alive.
He's gonna wait
Is
till
it-
he's gonna wait till they're what do you call it? He's
If
gonna
it
go
grows
ahead.
out of the bottom and starts to root you, then we should take care of it.
Yeah, well, I make sure. I walk, so it's hard for Roost to take hold. He's gonna go ahead and look out, make sure the door's closed,
Sure.
and they go like that, and they go,
you know what? All right. Well, if they start any of that, immortal shit, I'm gonna just go ahead and say, well, I'm right there with you, but I care. Like we're gonna shut that shit down. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's a pretty
right.
good thing.
Okay. Well, just in case, And then they're probably gonna say how it doesn't, I don't matter. Oh, whatever. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good. So
I'm
the
afraid
party.
they think that we matter too much.
There.
They are putting a lot on us.
Well, somebody's
might be the
putting a lot
case.
on us.
I think I wouldn't have. Honestly, though, I mean, I didn't expect us to be here. No, not at all. No.
Why do you think they chose us to go? That's probably people who are more qualified to speak on these matters, but why do you think they chose us?
We're probably a little more expendable than some of the heavy hitters that they need to defend Waterdeep. So they're like, hey, these guys don't suck, and they seem willing to travel, and we
We
all seem.
also, if you look at what Nimur said, we have chosen to take action when we could have not.
True.
We have chosen to put ourselves in danger when we could have not. And we have chosen to help when we could have not.
They've
Every-
chosen to
that-
do good.
For
Yeah.
that reason, maybe we are best suited, but it is a lot of pressure.
I think we do best under pressure. I think we'll be fine.
Yes, but if I start swinging at them, it will end badly.
Yeah, don't
You're
do
not
that.
gonna do that.
Don't do that.
You're not gonna do that. No whiskey
That-
for you.
That would be bad, Ray.
Be an interesting tactical choice.
Does,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Nope.
I was gonna ask, when she drinks, does she get violent or not really?
You've actually only noticed her get maudlin.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got real quiet and kind of depressed.
Okay.
So
Might be good that you drink then.
Yeah, but no.
Probably in our best interest if you do.
Well, we don't know that they'll serve us any alcohol. Maybe it's not good.
Well, yeah,
Not that
we
I
have
drink
some.
very
So
much.
has.
We have our own.
Well, that's true. Not that I drink very much of it.
I only have a bottle and a half left.
I want some coffee. I'm gonna go look in the kitchen, and I'm gonna
Sure.
start brewing some coffee if there isn't some already in there that's brewed.
There is so nothing is prepared at the moment, but there's a little bit of everything as far as food goes, and there's enough supplies to go ahead and make yourself some coffee. So
Anybody want breakfast?
Go.
I'll make breakfast.
What about second breakfast?
What time of day is it? Is it early morning?
we'll go with it is early morning-ish. So Elia was able to fly pretty much nonstop, one rest and then on. So we'll say early morning. You've got a whole day to do whatever you need to do, and then the council will be officially called the next day. Nimur seems like the type that maybe can't really wait for things. So stopped in and pestered you as you were getting unpacked. But the rest seem to be leaving you more or less on your own. You'll see them passing through, and you know roughly where they are located. Each has a fairly round room where they're just coiled up and chilling, if they're not in human form prowling about the human areas. You've seen the meeting chamber. The meeting chamber is kind of what I have pictured here. It's a big room. It's got kind of a circle inscribed on the ground, and during the meeting, everyone basically stands at the edge of the circle. I have you pictured here a little squeezed in because otherwise it doesn't fit on the display. So my plans for the map and my plans for the stream collided, and so we bent the map a little. So, breakfast is prepared. Supplies are excellent. Everything is the finest of quality. And the tools are available to you. Again, fantastically made. There are several sets that seem to be designed for the different peoples of the land. There's a fairly heavy duty set, there's a fairly light set, and a few pieces in between. And time passes. The party does have the ability to reach out to other folks and also to prowl about on their own if they choose. What might you be doing in preparation?
Only talked one.
I have no idea.
Well, what do we know?
Well, we have the
Yeah.
notes. The notes in the chat in Discord are what Elia told us, right?
Yes. So
The short little bits.
Yep, in flight, Elia gave you a breakdown, and I'll just kind of kick through that real quick here while everybody gives a little thought. So the leader of the council, or at least the one who is handling the rules of the meeting, is Prothanter. He is a male gold dragon, and Elia feels that he thinks that the dragons should strike now before the cult organizes further, and the dragons should strike on their own. They don't really need humans or elves, interfering in things. Eleuthera is a male brass dragon. Elia lets you know Eleuthera is old enough and wise enough to recognize the benefit of working together, but he's also lived long enough to know the dangers of working with fools. Elia herself, the silver dragon who offered you a ride, says we should definitely all work together, but only if we see one another as worthy of respect. Too many of your kind are starting to view us as animals, and that was maybe a little bit pointed to the ones carrying, dragon skin equipment. Maybe that's, I mean, sure, everybody's got a human skull finger. Everybody was a teenager once, but Nimur, he's the most outspoken of the benefits of forming an alliance with those of Waterdeep. Obviously, just a big fan of the Silverhelve family. Taz Michaela, female copper dragon. Taz has had a lot of trouble with the human folks. Many times she's put herself forward, and many times she's been betrayed for greed. So that was kind of the insights Elia provided on the landing. Elia herself seems kind of on the, you gotta give us something. You gotta show that, you're not just like, oh, hey, dragons would be handy because they're big animals and can die for us.
They are handy. Just the same way I'm handy, or Show is handy, or Chiquito's handy.
A trebuchet is handy.
It's handy.
Yeah. And they would like to be, more like the friend, less like the trebuchet. At least on Elia's angle.
Makes sense.
Get behind that.
Because we're the trebuchet.
We're the trebuchet.
Elia seemed to be of the opinion that that was also bad. Like, we also shouldn't be looking at you as like, stampeding horses into battle just because the horses are less important than the people. No, everybody's should be well on the same lane here.
Yeah, so far that's actually a better position than has been taken with us by pretty much everybody else on the mortal human, everybody who isn't a dragon side of the equation.
Probably because the humans can choose to be evil.
I mean, we've
I'm
run into
talking
some
about our
pretty good
allies.
people. They've been all right.
Well, I
They're
don't
sorta
know.
dippy,
Okay,
but
so
I haven't.
Leosin is just foolish.
Yippee.
Yeah, but he's not
Well,
trying to
Oh,
treat us like crap. In fact, he's actually been concerned. Like
Yeah.
he checks
Well,
in
yeah.
if we
He's
don't check in.
he's been good. He's been good to us.
Yeah,
He's made questionable decisions, but he's been good to us.
I don't.
Just
I don't
wish
think.
he were wiser. But
Well,
anyway,
He'll
I
get
wish
there.
I wish I were wiser.
I wish I were taller. I wish I were a baller. I wish I had a girl with a phone. I would call her. But
I wish I
you
was
always
smarter.
make these words sound so, I don't know, more than what they are.
look at him. He's
that's
so
what I do.
so wise.
He's something. Um, we haven't met, I mean, Lord de Gaulle, oh, we can give you this if you give us 3 times what it's worth. Even if you fought to get it.
That is
I
Well,
don't like him.
he
appropriate
had
assessment.
he had a money angle. That was yeah, he wasn't completely on the up and up, but I don't think any of us fell for that either. I mean, not all of
Except
us are
for
great.
somebody did die going in to try and get that thing that for something that he should have given to us out of, I don't know, sheer propriety. I don't think he's good.
Time will tell.
Repatriation.
He may embezzle a whole
Exactly,
bunch of dragons
repatriation.
and start a whole heist. But
Yeah. You know, I feel like the world just blurred, and for a second we looked into the future, and you know that gold that he was getting for the return of the magic items was being minted into new dragon coins. So congratulations, we now know where that money came from.
nice. What a schmo.
Trying to think. So something I can't help but be considering is how, um, for some of these dragons, they mention how people are seeing them as animals, which is of no fault to these dragons among us. It is the fault of the dragons, as Nimar said, who are acting primal. And for, the I feel like for a lot of humans, they they go with what they see. Like, you see it and they're like, there's the proof. So maybe as part of one of the angles that we can work on is um having the dragons show that, not all dragons are what the humans are percepting them as. Do you I'm not good with words, but I think that this do you feel what I am saying?
Yes.
Like, so
So,
far, and I
A
mean,
presence is what you're saying. You're saying
mhm,
maybe that some of these dragons should show more of a presence.
because let's think, the dragons that have been making a presence among the human societies uh, so far that die, or like among the elves, or like everywhere we seem to go, the dragon is there, and it's, killing people with poison. It's freezing them. It is, there's the dragon is doing something to harm the people, which is making them fear them. Whereas like, I understand, it sounds like these dragons have tried to do something in the past, but
I could make the point that this is dragons, and the dragons are the ones that are acting up, and the dragons have some responsibility, you'd think. They're holding us responsible for everything that every mortal creature is doing. And they're not holding themselves accountable for bad actors that are dragons?
I think that they are. They are saying that action needs to be taken. We are hoping to make that action in concert with them.
I understand the
Oh.
point also of how, people make questionable decisions. Like again, like Namar said, he's amazed how people can make decisions.
Does that mean Tiamat's not able to make a decision? She just must be what she is?
And if
She's
she must
drawn
be,
that way?
yeah, if she, wait, so yeah, so if she must be that way, then doesn't that mean they must take action if they are the way that they are? If Tiamat is the opposite of what they are? No?
I
Yes?
bet. I imagine that when we speak to the others, they will not all have the same view of it as Nimor.
Can we go speak to the others or must we wait until
Oh,
the council?
can absolutely go speak to the others. And thanks everybody for stopping by on the raid. Real quick catch up.
Nice.
We are in Tyranny of Dragons. They are working with the Council of Dragons, and the party has spoken with Nimur and are now maybe thinking about heading out and speaking to some of the other dragons on the council before the official council meeting. There is Protanthor the Gold, Eleuthera the Brass, Ellie the Silver, who you had a flight with, so a little bit of conversation, and then Taz the Copper. Who might you be looking to speak with?
Maybe we should speak to some of the ones who are not interested in helping us, and maybe not ask them, like, just maybe not ask them about the alliance, but just ask them what has led to their perception of people thus far.
I think you
Maybe
would be
that
a good person to have that conversation.
who what?
I think you
Me?
would be. Yes.
Are you sure? Don't stick me with Taz. I'm not good at not lying.
Oh, that is true.
I am the wrong person to speak with Taz, but
But Sho could speak with Taz.
I think Show would be great with Taz. Show and Arab. I think both of them would be very good. That's my opinion, though.
So Sho, would you want to talk with Taz?
I would be happy to speak with Tez. I would also like to speak with Protentor.
Sure. We will keep the party more or less together, even if some are stepping forward and some are stepping back for convenience and blurbing of data's sake. Who would we like to approach first? Each has their own little compartment, a little ways down a short hall. Fairly easy to tell who is where. Um, little signposts up. Protanthor is in, on the doorframe there. Who we going to go see?
Maybe let's go with Protanter. Let's see. Let's go there first. before we make our way.
Right to the top.
Yep. Let's go.
Sure.
If they think he's the top.
He's leading this discussion.
He is
Mm-hmm.
he is the organizer, though all have a vote, so it's a round table, even though someone's sitting at the head. Protanthor is in his gold dragon form, and he is a big gold dragon. As you approach, he moves to face you, settling himself down. Legs down, chin sort of resting just above the legs, sort of looking in your direction. The length of him swayed out behind. Yes.
All right, we really didn't mean to disturb you, but I guess we did because we came to talk to you.
Well, this is a place for talking, so you have not disturbed me yet.
That seems fair.
Give us time.
I intend to, at least the next 2 days.
I'm a little hazy on our actual goal.
Well, I am Sholara Gathakanathi, and I want to speak with you because I want to ask a favor in a way. On our way here, Elia told us that you were inclined to face these dragons without the assistance of the mortals. That it was you felt striking quickly was wiser than waiting, and that the dragons could scatter the metallic dragons. Your folk could scatter these chromatics without without the need for us to help. And the favor that I would ask is these chromatic dragons are roasting near my own people, and they are endangering my family. And I do not want to be left out of that fight.
That is unfortunate, and I understand your plight, wishing to defend your people. But I have found that putting your kind in a situation where power is required is far more dangerous than any discomfort that people being risk might pose. We are likely to take losses ourselves in this effort, and those losses of my own kind, are more acceptable to me than putting risk of causing your people to grasp at power beyond their ability to wield wisely.
I cannot pretend to understand what that is. I don't. I draw power from my own strength and somewhat from my own anger, but I
You
I
say
hope
that.
that
Go on.
sorry I do not wish for your people to suffer losses that my action might prevent any more than I want my people to suffer losses. I want to be in that fight because I want to do my part to prevent losses. I want to protect those I can protect, and even though you are so much greater than I could be, I would protect you if I can. I that is my home and my people, and I want to protect it. And that is the favor that I ask. And if these negotiations are for naught, and you do not wish to ally with the mortals en masse, all of as a whole, the favor that I ask is that you let me come and help defend my home.
Then let me ask you directly here. What could you, if you needed to, save your family?
And everything. I
Exactly. And that is the problem. You could do everything. Do anything. You could ally the devil. Lie that. You could ally with a black dragon in the mirror of dead men.
Definitely do that.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
These are all things that your people can do and have done. It is too much a risk to ask your people to gain power.
I know this isn't necessarily. I'm going to be quiet.
and I guess I there are always limits, but what would you do to protect your people. You would not take aid where it is offered.
I-
If it protects your people, and I understand that. If you cannot trust the aid, you do not take it, but it is aid, it is offered, and it might save lives.
It is aid that is offered, but it is aid that comes the risk of great evil done.
I guess my question is, I mean, we've done some, I guess, questionable things. They were good intents. Our goal was to save people, and they weren't actually even our people. When we were helping there, I think the intent was good. I guess my question is yes, if we ally with you, or if you allow that, we would have access to the power you wield, but none of us are in any. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. We'd have no ability to wrest that power from you, and yet we can do great evil without you, as you've just noted. We didn't know there was an opportunity to work with y'all when we did those things, just out of a sense of desperation, and we're gonna have to do the best we can with the limited resources we have. We made some decisions, but we can do that without you. And we'll do that without you. And so I'm just wondering, like, how can us help and you? I mean, would you be like, I don't understand, because you could stop us with, like, most of you with the flick of a tail. Like,
Because we can doesn't mean we should.
also, we wouldn't. I mean, kind of. No, I mean, I sort of recognize we'd be the junior partners here.
I wanted to speak because we had a conversation with Namur this morning, and he was fascinated because we could decide. He seems to find that interesting. And when we were talking about deciding, we talked about the things that you could do that you would do because it was good and it was right. And I asked him how did he know? How could he be sure it was right? All of us ask how he could be sure it was right. How can you be sure it's right? How can you be sure that anything isn't right? And how can you know whether it's a great evil or not to ally with a black dragon in the long run? Because it could save the world.
I don't believe that we ever allied with that black dragon. We made a deal, but our cause was not joined.
Right.
No, it wasn't.
I'm very troubled if we have been perceived to have allied, because I don't believe we would do that.
I mean, I'm going to be frank with you. I'm Chiquito, by the way. Hey, how are you doing?
For
You
the
know, I'm
answer,
gonna be
he
frank.
gives you the dragon equivalent of a wave, which is probably just like a nod and a slow blink.
I shake my leaves. Uh, I'll be frank with you here and now. Yeah, just what there's no way that we considered it being out. We're trying to save people. I mean, we're trying to save Yazid's people. We're trying to keep. We're trying to help others out quite a bit. I would see. I mean, and like I said, Frank, you obviously you're aware of what we've done to get to this point. I mean, if you're aware of allies, you have some understanding that we've done a few things.
I did not come into this blind. I have done some research into you all, as well as the city of Waterdeep, not as much as Malika. She is more cautious for such things. And,
So,
as I said, you could ally with the Black Dragon.
right,
These are all
Joe.
things you could do.
My question is: that evil to ally with a black dragon?
Depends on the purpose. I could not ally with the Black Dragon towards evil ends. I can make peace. They have their place in the world, as do we. That place in the world has been corrupted. The actions of over to Anrin, peoples of the past.
I
Well,
don't feel that our positions are that different.
I
Oh,
mean, I feel that that's, in fact, I mean, just even working with that black dragon was to create peace.
that is why this council is being held.
But
Demur and others have indicated an interest in allying. I
think
think it is too great a risk. It is not
Because we have that choice.
because in the past, when given that choice, when burdened with noble purpose, go to any length, being evil lengths, to accomplish it. This is beyond doubt a noble cause. Preventing Tiamat's return from the hells, preventing the influence of this cult, preventing the troubles that they stir. All these are unquestionably good ends. The means you and elves will take to achieve those ends may not be acceptable. I do not wish to risk you being burdened with an end, taking means that are beyond you.
Chiquito's gonna kind of go and look to each one of his companions, kind of put his hand on each one's shoulder, and then end with Sho, kind of resting his hand up high on Sho's shoulder.
Listen, and he's gonna go ahead and say, "Did she, this person here that I'm next to, this show, very important to me. Now you listen. If you, we had the opportunity to bring, she fell in battle, and we had the opportunity. We were asked by what I would consider an evil artifact to bring this person back, a loved one, a true loved one, and all it would cost us was the blood and the souls of 50 people. That's what they said. Instantly we'd bring them back. We all chose not to do that because it was wrong. I would give my life for this person. But in no way are we, I feel like if you've done any research, you would know that we are, that our character should not be questioned in such a way.
as Chiquito says that Rob has clear cognitive dissonance and is struggling. Because of our first adventure. Rob wanted to save the kobolds and then went and killed a whole bunch of them and is having he still has a hard time with that.
Hmm?
'Cause he made that call, but he's not sitting okay with it. So Rob's Rob's choking a little bit there.
And as that's sort of going on, with Anthor, you can see he's taking you all in. His eyes are huge, and they're just shifting slightly as they focus on each of you. And as you speak, Chiquito, he says, "That's an excellent example. That's a sign of wisdom, mark in your favor. Now, can you say the same of those who will join us in battle, those who you represent on the Council of Waterdeep? Can you say that for the disgraced Degalt Neverember?"
No, I would not
No.
offer him power.
Not
No,
100% no.
no, that'd be a bad idea. Yeah.
You show some wisdom there. Would you place power in the hands of this Lady Laeral Silverhand?
We haven't met her.
Not had
So,
the opportunity to take her measure.
yeah. Maybe. I don't know. She's older.
What
That
do you think?
sometimes equals wiser. Sometimes it
Yeah.
means you made a bad deal with some people. I don't know.
Well,
What of
what
these
power could we possibly give her?
you would be asking her to take on noble purpose? A chosen of Mystra, a wizard of no small amount of power.
Hmm.
How far might she reach? Might she fall again as she has in the past? Referencing things in the ancient past there.
Yeah.
Have the
What of those
okay.
Oop, go ahead.
No.
And as he sort of says, what of those who Nemur speaks of so glowingly? Dala, this Leosin.
Hmm.
If you were to say they have a task set before them.
See, we
The
talked
fate
about
of the world hinging in the balance. What means might they take?
Well, I mean, we were talking good and bad, and now you're sort of talking like stupid and smart, and like
Does
Like-
the dragon visibly starts laughing?
The dragon chuckles. The dragon
Uh.
absolutely, Protanther says, "You make a point which I have made oftentimes.
I
Your
mean,
I'm
people."
sorry.
But
I may need to see myself out if we're moving from good and bad to smart and stupid.
oh no.
How you stop you?
You know, you're brilliant on the
it
battlefield.
is
Brilliant.
Yeah.
it is
There
a
is a type of stupid that only Leosin can embody, I think.
I doubt that. I'm sure there
No,
are plenty of
you know,
people who can do that.
it is
I've
a
met a couple.
it is a trait of your kind. Your power, ability to grasp at it is almost limitless. But the time that you have to gain the wisdom to use it is so limited. I can smell magics on you.
On
If you
who?
look to your own magics, how well do you know them?
Not at all for me. So I'm not even going, I can't pretend that I know that, but it's not a magic that's on me. It's magic that is me.
He's more so he says, that is something that is within you. That does not trouble me as much. It is the sense of the items, the enchantments that you carry. These are not things that you have gained of your own power. This is standing atop the shoulders of giants and thinking yourself tall.
Like looking through my inventory, trying to see what the heck he's talking about.
I'm like, what
So
do I have?
Andrin specifically, I think you've only got like a +1 sword and one or two other things,
Yeah.
but there's at least one relic floating around the party. You know, a chatty little sword. Has.
Oh yeah.
Do we? Because I did, or did we give
We
that?
didn't even talk to
or-
that dude.
Wait, did you get rid of Has? Did I miss a thing?
I don't remember. Do I still have
Got
Has,
rid
or
of
was
at
he
least
or
one.
was he given to? Was he left in Waterdeep?
I
So.
I don't think we've had has for some time.
Yeah.
I apologize. Then you may not have Has. You definitely left Black Razor in
Yeah, definitely
Waterdeep.
left Black Razor because I think
thought you still had Has on you.
I was willing to get rid of him in the hopes of helping to get Anrin get her family artifact
Heirloom,
back.
yeah,
Okay,
He
but
was.
I then retract
Yeah,
that one. You
'cause-
don't have a relic smell about you then.
Okay.
Um,
Because I think it's still written there, but I unmarked it like to show it's like it's not there. But I didn't totally delete it because I couldn't completely remember. I'm like, I'm pretty sure because I haven't had it. We haven't heard him talk in a while, so I'm pretty sure we didn't have it.
You have
And
not
so-
heard him talk in a while because nobody's talked to him, and he is a snooty little boy. But apologies, retract that one. There is still some magic about you. The show would have the converted
My morning
lance
star.
that became a morning star. So there is
Mhm.
some magics about you. There's an insignia of claws, I think, on
Mhm.
Chiquito,
Yeah.
and Rob, you smell of blue dragon, or you smell of black dragon mask still. Yeah,
Oh, I still have that stink on me.
you still have that stink on you now.
I thought it was my blue dress and my pretty blue bonnet.
Could be the blue dress and
I
the
do have a ring of poison resistance. Maybe
These are
I don't know.
things.
That's probably
Yeah.
what he's honing in
So-
on.
Yeah.
So he's just
It's so
sort of throwing that
powerful.
out there as more the accident. And I apologize. I was actually thinking of Has, so
Okay.
my example may not be as on point as I thought it was going to be. These things, these trinkets that you carry, they are not of your make. You know not what went into their creation, and yet you carry them. This is a problem with your kind. They are willing to take up things which they do not understand, thinking that the end will justify the means. You've made an example of one time when you elected not. 50 souls to save one, you decided no. 50 souls to save one. I cannot even consider such an abomination. The balance is so far in the other direction. And it sounds like to him the math is simple. 50 is greater than 1, 50 wins. Now, this danger must be dealt with. I see little reason to burden you with purpose that puts you at risk.
With glorious.
This purpose. To excuse your behavior. You could, of course, choose to go along an evil path to gain power, and then, if your own kind did not, we may need to step in and stop you.
I don't believe that anyone here could choose that.
Well, the good thing is if anybody here did choose that, you'd step in and stop us.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that he doesn't want to be distracted either. Like, I mean, his idea is this. I mean, and I'm not trying to make your argument for you. I just the best argument I can make, because you guys could just go and do this, and that's what you want to do, and everybody else is saying we should shoulder our, or not everybody else, but some of the people on your council are saying that we should shoulder some of the burden because it's our people doing this, you know, and I get that, but we're sitting here arguing to get a seat at the table, even, and I can understand, like, I really do understand why you're skeptical, because
Butterfly
why
wings.
are we arguing to die? Like, why are we arguing to fight? And the only thing I can say is look into our eyes, look into our soul. Show wants to protect people. She's never done anything else in the time that I've known her, which we don't know if that's been 3 months or 2 days. But 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 that
For this week.
the the whole deal is there. I don't think logically we're going to be able to convince you that we want to do this out of the goodness of our hearts and not for any other reason. I just don't know how we would be able to do that, because
I don't know
you
why we would need to.
well that's neither here nor there, though. I mean, if they don't want to fight with us, we can fight on our own alongside them. I
And
mean,
as Anrin says that, you get just a little flicker of flame in the back of the gold dragon's eyes. He says, "That is typical. Do not understand why to prove such things."
No, you misunderstand me.
Do I?
I don't know why we need to prove it to you.
If you wish to join us in our endeavor, I would wish to know that I am not bringing a greater evil into the world than the one I seek to destroy.
Then
Totally
set a
see that.
test.
Set a test.
The test is irrelevant because the problem is not just the 5 of us.
right.
The problem is that we are here on behalf of Waterdeep.
Then if we're
And
here on behalf of
Protector-
Waterdeep, can't we hold you responsible for Tiamat?
No,
Can,
because
and I will
you have
deal with
not
it.
been you have not been asked to come here to speak on behalf of Tiamat. We have been asked to come here to speak on behalf of Waterdeep.
This is why I should never talk.
And
Gonna
actually,
go.
as he says that, as that sort of goes back and forth, you make a fair point. You speak on behalf of your people. So,
Ish. Like, I'm not speaking on behalf of really, because they wouldn't,
you speak,
But yeah,
you stand to represent. So,
Yeah.
I will set a test for your peoples. Those that I see the greatest harm in are those who have brought the greatest harm to dragonkind, those who have unapologetically, for 10,000 years, stolen our minds from us. If you can look back on your own history, recognize evil from good, recognize a means that did not justify an end, then I will judge you to know good from evil well enough. If you can bring the elven peoples to apologize,
Ugh.
all they need do is admit fault and apologize for having stolen the minds of dragons for 10,000 years. Apologize for the rage of dragons.
Who would need to make the apology?
One who can speak on behalf of peoples. You have a king. Have the king apologize.
Which one?
The one who represents the largest of your peoples, this King Melendrock.
Okay. I will gonna look at okay, I will attempt this test because I will have to bring the test and lay it before my people and before the king. So I will undertake that.
Of course, I would not want this to be some lip service provided simply as a means to an end. Consideration is appropriate. And Prothantor gives you all more opportunity for conversation. Is there anything else that you'd like to address there?
I would simply like to reiterate my personal request that if these talks are for naught and you do not wish to ally with the people of Waterdeep, with the mortal peoples as a whole, that you allow me to come and protect my people, to join your battle, to do what I can for my home.
I would not stop you from protecting people. This council is an agreement between nations. An agreement between two individuals is another. From what I know of you, it seems I would welcome you on the battlefield. But that is an individual to an individual.
And that is all I'm asking right now. I am devastated by the idea that these talks may fail and I may not be able to help my people.
I
And
understand.
if these talks fail, I ask you one-to-one that I go with you.
That I cannot commit to. But I would not be averse to seeing you on the battle should you arrive in power. And maybe somebody will have to explain later, but that's a matter of policy and politic that would be hard for them to commit to.
Well, Show has no concept of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that might go on for like 2 or 3 minutes of awkward exchanges from there. And with that, anything else? We're departing from the Gold Dragon's presence.
I got a question. I mean, you're here.
42.
Oh yeah. Okay. Second question. Um, why didn't you guys step in? Why didn't you guys step in sooner? Why did it take this long?
It has become a matter of dragons. Prior to that, it is a matter of your people, of their people. You are an exception, uncommon in these lands.
Okay.
It is not our place to act as totalitarians, dictators, enforcers of law. You have the ability to choose good and evil. We should not take that away from you. That would be an evil deed.
Hmm.
But we should not encourage evil in you by putting on burdens you cannot bear.
I think we need to go. I need to go. I just need to go. Or I'm going to say something unfortunate.
So Anrin starts to move
I
away.
leave. I'm I'm about I'm about to I'm about to lose it. So
Fair enough. And so, any other questions for Botanther as Anrin starts to exfiltrate? Exfil, right? Yeah.
I'd have to go sit and meditate for at least 2 hours to recover from that conversation.
I,
Oh, maybe
I
an
think
hour.
Rob actually would just say, appreciate time. Talking to us. I know this was like sort of a meeting before a meeting. And I'm sorry for some of the decisions that I've made anyway. You've given me a lot to think about. And he'll just leave.
It kind of gives you the head bob acknowledgement of the thought. The big dragon eyes close.
Wait, wake up!
Whoop.
Wake up! Wake up!
Whoop.
Here you go. Have one of these two. Here you go.
Hey, you're offering him a good berry?
Yep.
Okay. And he sort of goes like, shh, and just like tongue.
Girl, easy with that thing, fella.
It's like a.
Hey!
I
Right here.
think you can do
Oh.
that. While I'm not here.
What
And
do you think?
And you can see him. He must have just like crushed it up against the roof of his mouth. He says, "Filling."
That's what I'm talking about. All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Gives like a little like kind of like bow and follows.
This is
Follows.
amazing. This is amazing. He's so
First
excited
taste is
'cause he's
free.
like, he's like, he gets the.
Did
Wow.
it tickle?
Didn't think he would want any whiskey. Should I have offered?
You want some? You like whiskey?
So I have abstained from such things for a time.
Well, that's a yes or no. No, okay.
Abstain
Maybe
means
later.
step away.
And he sort of considers for a moment, and he says, "I have a drink that I prefer, but out of deference to those whose hoards may not be as large as mine, I did not bring any. Perhaps in the future I will share some with you. If you
all
drink
right.
it and then say I should taste your whiskey, I will. If you drink it and then reconsider whether you wish to offer me the whiskey, I will consider that a compliment."
Oh, it is very cheap, horrible whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you better than it's whiskey is whiskey. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I mean, it's not.
It's not good. It's just what we have.
Yeah, that's right. You want some? Is what we're just asking.
And
That's all.
he kind of gives it the thought is appreciated, though I will save my palate.
That's okay.
No, that's probably smart, really. I mean, honestly, some of that stuff.
Or
will
if
take
you have
everything
some
out of
paint
your-
that needs removed.
If we want to check if any of these gold coins are fake, you just pour a little of that on it. It takes the paint right off it.
You can use it, it's before or after, you know. It's like either you drink it before or after you drink it. Either way, paint might be removed. So
Uh,
By the drink or by the drinker?
and so with that, let's actually do a our 5-minute break. So I can grab a refill on my drink, which is not whiskey. And when we come back, I'll leave the stream on, so feel free to toggle on or off cameras as necessary. When we come back, we'll do a little bit of conversation, see if there's anybody else you want to talk to. before heading in. And of course, you do have the ability to check in with folks remotely in case you want to get a hold of Leosin for any questions back to town there. So we'll be back in 5 minutes or so. And thanks, everybody. And Twitch should be able to hear us once more.
Tanter sending mind messages.
Mind messages.
Whoop, whoop.
So,
His belly's rumbly.
welcome back to Tyranny of Dragons, where the party is engaged in a very serious Council of Dragons. The party has met with Nimmer as well as with Protanter. The party had a little bit of a chat time with Elia in flight, but didn't really get into any serious questions because she flies fast and there's a lot of wind. Also, oxygen deprivation is a thing. Eleuthera and Taz neither have been spoken with yet. The party has returned back to their room, maybe grabbed a little bit more of a snack and a little time to recover. Anrin had an opportunity to do some high-speed meditation. And then, what's the party doing?
Taz?
I think so. They have no respect for us whatsoever.
Might as well get it out of the way now then.
Yeah.
I did
Agreed.
not get that feeling.
Yaz is terrified of Taz. He's gonna stay behind show. She hates everything I know has to do.
That might be true.
So, Taz McKella, the Copper Dragon, awaits as you move towards her area. You can see she walks over to where there's a small screened off area, big dragon form kind of heading to the little 3-panel screen, and then big dragon whoops down, and a young woman walks out the other side, adjusting her tire. Yes, what can we do for you today?
I think that my friends would like me to speak to you to see if we can. I'll look at the group to gauge if there is
seem
grounds
nervous,
for
dear.
understand.
Would you like a seat?
Yes, they would like me to speak to you because I don't put up with bullshit.
That's good. I'm not a big fan of bullshit.
Then good. I'm Sholara.
I'm Taz. It's nice to meet you, dear.
Oh, you can call me Sho, I guess.
You. What would you like to say? What would you like me to say?
I don't know.
Would your friends
We're
like to talk?
I don't know. They we were warned that that people have lied to you and they want me to talk to you because I can't lie. I'm terrible at it. I hate it.
It's a good skill not to have, dear. Yes, I have had quite a bit of trouble over the years. I'm fond of interacting with your folk, but there's a greedy streak in you that's positively draconic. And
Sorry, that was
Isn't it draconic? Don't you think?
a little too draconic. I
Yeah.
really do think.
No.
But with the choices people are able to make, that desire turns sour. And over the years, I've had a few contracts be voided and a few trusts be violated. I don't look forward to having that again, and the more of you there tend to be involved in any particular deal, the greater chance I tend to find of someone souring it. Individually, you're all lovely, but as soon as you get together in a group, you just go wrong.
Oh shit, she's right.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. That's what I've noticed.
Oh no, all the best songs are about that. Yeah, it's true.
Well,
Deny that.
I'm
There's a great bard, not as good as Dylan, but his name was Carlin, and he had great love for individuals, but folks suck, as he put it.
that's been my experience now.
Well,
There are few of us in number. Dragonkind has never been particularly populous, so we tend to deal one-on-one. Even this council, our representation would be perhaps numbering 50 or so when we took to the field. That is a manageable number for me. I can know 50 people. I can know 50 dragons. What I understand, you would be fielding an army possibly of hundreds or thousands. I have a great deal of difficulty believing there wouldn't be at least one bad actor amongst them.
I'm
Well,
sure there would be.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty stupid for us to promise otherwise, right?
yeah, no, you
That,
can't make that kind of. You can't cash that check.
that's a fair caution to have.
Yes, and that's my concern, is that the trouble we might need to go to protect ourselves from betrayal, to ensure that no cultists number amongst your followers waiting for an opportune moment to turn a weapon against us, to give away our plans. None of my kin would do so or even could do so. You're a great deal of risk.
I hadn't even considered that.
so
Hmm.
since we are all talking, um, so when you say none of your kin, you mean the metallic dragons?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, oh, I'm struggling all day today with the conversations I've been having. My head is beginning to really hurt, but maybe you could help me with another observation. So, I'm a wood elf. I don't really view other elven people who aren't wood elves as being kin per se. They've made other choices, and so they are who they are, but they're different. And yet, since I've been with this group of people who I'm with, none of us are the same. Not one of us. None of these things are just like the other. And so we have, but they're all people to me. But I wouldn't expect that the next Warforged person that I met would be Chiquito, because it couldn't be.
Unless it is.
I'm following most of what you're saying so far, but what's the question or what's the bit you're having trouble with?
The bit I'm having trouble with is why, if an army of Warforged were to come to fight, they'd be there, each and every single one of them, for their own reasons, but not just their own reasons. And isn't that true of metallic dragons too?
And I'm not entirely sure that holds up. Um, I've I'm familiar with Warforged. Um, they've grown to be much like elves or human. They make choices now. Um, a more apt comparison might be devas and devils, angels and demons. An angel, a deva, will always be acting for the good. A devil, a demon, will always be acting for ill. It's part of their nature. It's what they are. We dragons are similar. Metallic dragons work to the good. Our chromatic brethren work to what is now evil. That is perhaps not what they were originally intended to be, but it is what they are now.
So, how did it become evil if it wasn't intended to be evil?
It's a matter of some debate, but if you consider what they are, a red dragon, bringer of fire and clean destruction, burning away what is old. A green dragon brings growth. White dragons preserve. Blue dragons tend to change. Black dragons dissolve that which resists destruction. They're primal forces. They shouldn't have a moral value, but there were those who came and passed judgment upon them, insisting upon a morality. God's not from this world, and she's looking at the humanoids rather pointedly. When that happened, they were classed evil. The mother of all dragons was cast into hells, and as she was corrupted, so too were children.
She's not your mother?
She's the mother of all dragons.
So, are you saying you're corrupted too?
We are not as we were. We were made in Bahamut's image. We are metallic. They are chromatic. They follow our mother more than we do.
Hmm.
Yet, we all have the rage within us.
This is interesting because we just had a conversation about how. So, this is all about, can we trust you?
Well, that's my concern. I'm willing to take risks. I just prefer to do it on a individual basis where I can judge, and there are far too many of you to be judged.
Right.
You can judge us.
I can, and I have done some investigation into each of you. You've made decisions that I don't entirely agree with, but overall, you seem to be headed in the right direction.
Chiquito, you're the wisest person in the room.
Huh? Yeah. Oh,
Maybe
okay. You want my
wisest,
turn?
maybe wisest small person. I mean, Taz, you're kind of small at the moment, but we know that's not your normal form. So I don't mean to. I mean that maybe I don't know if Chiquito's wiser than you.
I mean, I guess we're meeting you. We're just coming up and talking to get to know you as. I mean, to be fair, people have maybe it sounds like people have been putting like, oh, that's the champion of this. I don't know. We're not getting paid like that. But either way, there were, maybe, we're getting, maybe everyone's saying, oh, look at we're helping these people out. But we've been really doing things on our own. We really have.
It's true.
Yes, I sort of picked that up.
Right. I mean, damn. I was gonna ask Pro Dancer over there. I was like, damn, where have you been? Damn it! Like we were on the brink of destruction a few times. We're like, damn, it would be really nice for some help.
Would you mind? I didn't bring anything from my hoard because I didn't want to show anyone else here up. But
that an issue? That's okay.
Oh, yes, it would be. I don't like to embarrass the older ones, but they're a little old. And
what you got? Wait, hold on. What you got?
It's actually just a bit of a collectible that I was hoping, since you're all here, would you mind signing? And she brings out your wanted posters.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen mine.
Oh, I haven't seen mine either.
How does mine look?
Damn it! This doesn't look like me.
The nose is too big.
I
Yeah, but look
don't
at my-
have
They
one.
got like the
of these.
Chiquito
It's a
nose
make-
on Rob Oak's face.
That's way too long.
Oh,
My hair is glorious, and they don't get it right.
You're much more handsome than that.
bad
thank
boy of
you,
the internet. Thank
Chiquito.
you for the cheers.
Hey.
So yeah, she sort of, if you wouldn't mind, it would just be just something to have. And she gives you a couple
To
of
remember us by.
just to sign off. I have a little store for curios, and occasionally such things do become collectible. If you wouldn't mind signing off on a few, that would just be
We
fantastic.
need to do it for everyone then, if you weren't supposed to have things that show up anyone else.
Well, I wasn't going to show this one off. It's actually part of the research I brought along on you all. I've been keeping a bit of a, and she goes over and she brings out some paper from behind the little screen she has. And she's
Hey,
got
should
your,
we wait? Should we wait until the end to sign if you're using this as evidence? You don't want to show it if we signed it, and then they might get.
oh
you
no,
know.
this was more for my research.
Okay.
Everyone's done their own piece on you and on the other factions as well. I brought mine along just in case you were curious, and I wouldn't mind if you were to just go ahead and give it a little scribble there.
Oh, Rob didn't need to be asked twice.
And do you want us to do this for personal gain?
Looking for some really good.
I mean, I wouldn't be averse if they became more valuable.
Yes, is not
Mhm.
only going to sign it, but on the back he's going to do a Yaski.
Yes. Nice.
Ah, Yatsky.
I'm just
You-
going to sign my name in High Elven, which is
You
going to have a
guard
little bit of
that.
flourish.
I don't even have a Yatsky. I mean, that's something
Yeah.
right there.
Now,
So,
a few other
England for
questions had come up. I did check in, and it looks like you did a very admirable job of meeting your obligations to the wagon masters that you signed on with, left in good standing. And she sort of runs through a pretty comprehensive list of what you've been up to recently, and to the best of the DM's recollections, I believe you have made good on just about every deal you've ever set up to. You even honored your deals with the cultists. You did not slay the dragon yourselves. You did go after that. Now, she doesn't know about that in particular, but overall, throughout the whole campaign arc, I can't think of any contracts that were broken, and I will ask the party to be honest. Would there be any noteworthy agreements or deals that they did break that Taz might have turned up? Oh, Anrin's nodding. Anrin?
Okay, well, the one I'm thinking of obviously is the deal. We made a deal to not. Okay, my memory. This is really true. You're going to have to help me
Sure.
with this, but I keep thinking it had something to do with having made a deal to do something to be able to position what's his name as a worm speaker, and we pretty much backed out on that and didn't follow through on that at all.
So on that deal, from what I remember, it was you were looking to assassinate Resmir effectively. The deal that you had working, talking to Talus the White and Furlam Mundath in the hunting house was
Right.
that you would not attack the dragon.
Which we didn't.
Talus said, "Please don't attack my boyfriend," and Furlam said it'd be really awesome if you would kill Resmir. You
Right.
honored that
What-
deal. You killed Resmir.
Okay.
We
Um,
created an opening. We didn't push them. We just created an opening for them
Created
to
the
do
opening.
the rest of the work.
Okay.
Now, so deal accomplished. Separately, Furlam then reached out to Rob Oakes and said, "Hey, you ended up taking a dragon mask. That wasn't really specified one way or the other of the deal, and I don't believe
That's the one.
Rob ever responded. I believe there was never a acceptance denial of that deal.
I thought
yeah,
there
I
was
ghosted his ass.
Just flat out ghosted. So, and that was the closest I think the party came to an actual contract break.
We walked out on a contract at the Roadhouse. we
We walked-
abandoned our post,
You
but
did.
we also didn't get paid. So it's sort of like, I mean, we did walk out on the contract, didn't complete our obligations, but we also didn't get paid. So it's not like we took the benefit and then ghosted.
So that would be one that I would say Taz does highlight in there. I did notice this particular situation. So thank you for that. But given that they were acting as a place to the cult, just try not to do that again. She kind of gives you the tisk tisk, but overall, your grading so far for her is like a B plus.
It's a pass, guys.
Best grade I've ever had.
Best excellent grade.
See, C's get
I'm
degrees. We're doing
I'm
good.
very disappointed.
Now the problem is though, there are so many others of you, and
Nerds.
I mean DeGalt. Just
Well, I'm
so
like,
many broken deals.
if
He's sketch. Very
it-
sketch.
if it helps at all, we think he's an asshole. I mean, we really think he's an asshole, but we don't know anything about the current leadership. Like, we don't. We don't know what kind of deals she'll make. And kind of to
Protanther?
Protanther's point, like, when you say a whole people will fight when we have choice, and you say people will all fight for their own means, sometimes people fight because it's the only way they're going to eat. That doesn't always feel real good to me. A lot of poor people die for rich people's dreams. You know what I mean? So I'm real. I'll be honest. I haven't spoken a lot because I'm real uncomfortable speaking on behalf of Waterdeep when I'm not sure where they stand. I'm real uncomfortable talking for a bunch of rich people who are going to send a lot of poor people's kids to die.
Well,
We know where we stand. And,
We know where we stand.
And yes,
Right.
technically, we were sent here to speak for Waterdeep, but I mean, you're right. It's a lot of people. We can try our best, but you said it yourself. It's a lot of people. We could just guarantee what we know we can, and that's us.
I
And
think the thing I keep thinking of is it seems foolish for you all to take this responsibility and not allow the mortals to bear some of it, because the mortals have created a lot of this problem, and Protentor says he would rather accept losses among dragons than accept the risk of mortals doing dumb shit, which I understand.
But they're
But
always going to do dumb shit.
but at the same time, the mortals have created this problem and should bear some of the weight to fix it.
I agree that there are many benefits to working with your people. It's the risk reward of this that I have trouble seeing an argument to overcome. I know the good that people can do. I know the good that a person. It's when we work with as a group, trust breaks down so quickly. And
You work with us as a group?
work with peoples as a group.
No, I mean, can you work with the 5 of us as a group?
Oh, I see no concern. You've shown yourself to be quite reputable, quite skilled. I can see a number of profitable deals for the both of us that could better the world, but it would be working with the other actions that would be a concern.
Casey, Paul doesn't know Forgotten Realms lore,
Sure.
but perhaps Rob does. Is there anything in the history of Forgotten Realms where the mortal folk have banded together for an altruistic cause, and that we could that Rob maybe knows a song or a snippet too, or anything? Just and honestly, Rob doesn't see a whole lot of good argument here
Mhm.
for I'm kind of seeing their point, and I'm having a hard time coming up with a point for us. But I also like the idea of, hey, maybe there's a chance of redemption. And so would there possibly be some sort of, reference Rob could make, some song, some
Oh, yeah.
some
Yeah,
lore?
there are definitely some stories that you could pull from, and let's throw a die at this one. Let's throw
Okay.
a performance persuasion, whatever the style would be, and um, before you roll it,
Yep.
what would be, and feel free to just make it up. We'll think of an event that fits. What
Okay.
would be the driving storyline, redemption? Like, what is the thing that you are saying this is the highlight of humanoid kind? What are you showing? For
Maybe
example, a bad example would be raw talent. We don't want to highlight raw talent. She knows you have talent.
no, it would be a setting aside of egos to achieve a common goal.
Okay.
And maybe it's even not even warfare. It's, maybe Rob has to stretch and go, these groups came together to build this amazing thing, and
Climate
they put their
change.
own egos. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's heading the wrong way in the Sword Coast right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe something close to mind of people working together altruistically would be the recent triumph of the Hell Riders, returning El Terrell back from Hell by honoring their ancient pact with an angel. Um, an angle in there. Now it does show some of the risks of humanity, but they did overcome them in the end.
I think Rob's gonna go for that'll work. And Paul not knowing really the Sword Coast history
Sure.
or Forgotten Realm, but Rob knowing it. And then Rob would go for oration on this one.
Okay.
And persuasion.
Go ahead and hit me up.
He looks at Chiquito and goes, Now is a good time. I'm about to try to be really persuasive. A
I
hug,
say,
Chiquito.
hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you a hug, but I'm gonna say it out loud too.
Oh,
We're not gonna do. I say we don't try to make any tricks here. We gotta be straight
okay.
up with these. Listen, and he's gonna look at
Nice.
Daz and go, you
You
know
know
what?
what? You're 100%. You are the smartest and wisest of us, Chiquito. I swear to God.
You know what? And he's
Uh,
gonna say, you know what? I'm able to, help my fellow. I'm able to help my companions out every once in a while. Maybe I could kind of help them focus a bit more. But you know what? I think it's best that we're straight up with you.
all right.
Oh,
I still give you a big old hug.
yeah,
I'm gonna give you
All right.
a
big ole hug.
Hug.
and even my little vines come out.
Oh, it tickles, but I love it.
The pro.
Where that came from?
So I mean,
Nice.
you hit all the right notes. You hit all the right all the right points. You make your point real well, and Taz is like, I get it. I know how great you can be, and I want to trust you. It's just the Lords of Waterdeep, the
Yeah, there's shit.
even the Harpers, they have such good intentions individually, but as soon as they start running away with it, they just get caught up with themselves. Um,
Oh, it's true. I don't like going to the meetings, honestly. It's like arguing in HOA. Like, it's just terrible.
So
But they have good coffee, so I go.
They still make you pay for membership. It's
Yeah.
they'll mail it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my membership card dues again.
Well,
The discounts are nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, every once in a while I get something at like, Orc Bucks, and it's all right. But otherwise, it's just a lot of preening, posturing.
Here's simplicity. Simplicity prevents problems. If we can come up to a simple arrangement, I think I could see my way clear of that. Something where there's no opportunity or chance for the different factions to get carried away. Gold, riches, is what generally causes these issues. There will be spoils from war. As I understand it, quite a hoard has been accumulated, and if we are to defeat some of our draconic brethren, likely some of their hordes will become available as well.
Not all
And
that interested.
an even share, as determined by our council. Meaning, we will not give the humans opportunity to judge the value of things. Degalt has shown how dangerous that can be recently.
Yes, he has.
We will come to an arrangement. Any treasures, anything of value, we will divide evenly between the members of our councils, and then they can be distributed. If a simple arrangement can be reached, if your factions can agree to such a thing, then I will accept that on faith. But I suspect that they will want more wiggle room, and that is what makes me nervous. How much they can wiggle.
Well, it might be bad news for them, but they sent us to speak on their behalf.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb. No, it
To
wasn't.
ask
It was
one
wonderful.
question though.
It's good because we can
Come on.
make a deal.
We can
And
make
we
a
can-
deal. I'm not
They don't
saying
have
I'm
to-
not saying it's objectively stupid. I'm saying the people who are like, "Oh, you're great people to send," they're dumb
Well,
because we don't care.
as I suspect we will do, there will be a vote. And as I suspect your council will, there will likely be a vote. The terms will need to be equitable and agreeable on both sides. I would
Yeah.
say that that would be my condition, that your council, those forces that agree to march with us, if they be of size that is worthwhile, a handful of troops that decide to march alongside us slow us down, it will need to be armies. If they can agree to a simple division that we control, then I would agree to it. I know that we cannot make an unfair deal for you, no matter how much we might want to. Simply not in our
Yes.
nature to be able to do so.
I just wish I had that sense of knowing for sure. It must feel amazing.
It is comforting in its way, but it also makes us terribly nervous when dealing with you all because we simply cannot fathom it.
No,
It
I
is
can't.
it is it's a great difference between our peoples. I appreciate it about you, but it's like trying to understand a flame. I don't know what they think. Even the elementals I talk to are a bit wacky.
Okay.
Anything else we'd like to chat with Taz about? And very good call
I
on not
just
trying to
wanna
subterfuge that. That, by the way, good thought.
Nice.
Well
Yes.
done.
Yeah, that was smart. Super smart.
Well, sounds like at least we understand. We have an understanding. Oh,
Do you want some shitty whiskey?
yeah.
I've had a great deal of shitty whiskey in my time. I'm
And
all ready at the moment. Though, I
no,
will say, if
yeah.
you're worried about shitty whiskey, did you open all the cabinets in your room?
Is there good whiskey?
We didn't do that. No.
I
I don't want to take something that isn't mine.
we weren't allowed to bring anything to show each other up, but we did have to provision your room. So, if you would happen to mention which bottle of whiskey you liked best,
Uh
I'm
The nearest one.
that's a fair assessment. I'm not certain where mine was placed, but do enjoy yourself. Do let me know which whiskey you like best.
Which is
Oh.
your favorite? Wink.
Oh,
wink,
that
nudge,
would be unfair of me to say. You should
It
try
doesn't.
them
It
all.
doesn't. It doesn't have to be one in our room, but I'm just curious. What do you like?
I didn't bring my best. That would be rude to the others. But you should stop by my shop sometime.
Oh, you have a shop.
Oh, of course I have a shop.
Do you sell dresses?
I've been known to carry a few dresses.
What's it called? Where's it? Where's it?
And she lures you of the things that I've completely forgotten, but I do know she has a shop.
Uh-huh. Well, we'll have to stop by there sometime when people
When
aren't
the
trying
world
to.
isn't in danger.
I was gonna say when people aren't
Yeah.
trying to kill us on a regular. That'd be great.
Excellent.
Oh. Here you go. There you go. Have a little taste. It's really good. I made it with you in mind.
It came out of your mind.
I've had a more subtle flavor before, but this is quite good.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah.
You're supposed to say filling. That's what everyone says.
Oh, well,
No, I
it would have
appreciate
to
it.
be. It's a good berry, isn't it?
It sure is. It
Yes,
sure is.
I mean, that's a given.
So you like more subtle?
I prefer a more complex flavor,
Oh, okay.
and this was a bit bitey.
Hey, yeah. I guess it depends what. Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah,
I'm just taking a wild stab here based on personality.
Is it sort of a sour retart kind of thing, right? Yeah. No, I like it.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind next time. I'm sorry.
I'm a little peckish. Can I?
Well, of course you go.
Again, you really should check all the cabinets.
No,
There you go, Rob.
I just enjoy having a little chiquito.
A chiquito lit every now and then.
Oh yeah. It's a chicklet.
It's a chicklet.
Chicklet.
So as you part ways with Taz, that leaves us with two potential dragons left to interview. Eleuthera, the brass dragon, and Elia, the silver dragon. Would you like to interview? Would you like to check in back at home? Or are we good for the evening and you're ready for the council the next day? What are we doing?
Could we at least maybe even quickly? I mean, it seems like I don't want to put a strain on you, Casey, personally, but it would be nice to kind of meet these folks.
I think we need to talk to the others so that we're
Yeah.
not playing
Oh,
favorites.
no, sorry, not strain on Casey. Casey's fine. When I said for the evening, I meant for you to break and go to the next council. What would you like to do?
I mean, we can hand wave through it too if we're not going to learn anything new, but we would want to see all 5 or all of the dragons.
Yeah, I think we need
Yeah.
to take the time to speak to all of them.
Yeah.
And with that then, Eleuthera the brass or Elia the silver? Which would you next?
We've seen Lyria, right? That's what her shortened version
Elia.
is. Elia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so
And I'm not saying we don't see Otaria
Otaria
Carnos.
Carnos is Elia.
Yeah.
And then Eleuthera is the other one that you haven't met yet.
Maybe we meet Eleuthera and then finish up with our friend who we spent some time with.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Now remember, Eleuthera does not like fools.
Well, we're okay then.
I'll stay quiet.
Get shit up there, Rob. You're
No, it's sort of on the job description. I mean, every once in a while, that's my job. Like I gotta do that. So but I'll keep it on the wrist.
Sometimes I gotta be a fool. What can I say?
Bum, 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 bum. I start
So-
singing "Fool in the Rain."
As you make your way down the short hallway to where Eleuthera awaits, he is a big brass dragon, and he is in dragon form. Looks like he's taking a bit of a nap, but as you walk a bit closer, that big eye just creaks open and watches you approach. He offers no particular greeting, just watching, waiting, and seeing what you do.
After all that saying, I'm gonna be quiet. Rob's just like, "Well, howdy."
And with that, the other eye opens up and the head sort of revolves around and lifts up a little bit before settling back down to be relatively eye level to you. And by that, I mean his eye is roughly the same size as all of you.
I'm sorry. We wanted to visit everybody because we visited some and then felt like we should, not to be rude, but like I feel like we got here late now and we wanted to visit everybody and now I feel like we're disrupting your sleep.
It's a bad time. We'll come back. We'll
Yeah.
let you wake up, or we apologize. We're sorry.
I take the opportunity to contemplate when I have the time, and I must wait a day or so. So I contemplate. Now I get to contemplate you. A novel
Completed
opportunity.
so far.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the attention. Rob does not say that because Rob is actually trying to be smooth here. Like, you just we've kind of picked up that there's a difference of opinion here, and on whether or not there should be any alliance between the metallic dragons and the human folk, particularly from Waterdeep, and just sort of curious as to where you stand on that. If you're willing to share that ahead of the meeting.
And he sort of gives a little chuckle and says, you noticed a difference in opinion.
Well, I mean, it was kind of explicitly stated. I don't want to make it sound like I was picking up on subtleties or anything.
I'm curious. A slight riddle for you. What do you see this council as?
Bluntly, I mean,
Yes.
in first impression, which I realize may not be my best foot forward, it's a lot of power.
That is true.
And I see it as a test of whether or not we represent your best interest. I mean, we're sort of on our back foot here. This is definitely and pathetically so not a meeting of equals at all. So
Well, let me ask the question in a more pointed way for you. Do you consider yourselves to be facing a council of dragons?
No.
What do you consider yourselves to be facing?
Rob disagrees, so Rob's gonna just stand to the side.
You've agreed to come together.
So,
You've agreed that you need to do something together.
yes.
You can't not agree to come together at this point, perhaps?
We could agree to act separately. That is within our. But more importantly, Prothantor and others view you as a group of humanoids. Do you view yourselves that way?
Hmm.
As a coherent group of humanoids?
Yes.
No.
No. What are you?
The
I
5
am
of us together?
I am me,
Are you?
and we are we.
And we are all together.
True indeed. But I think more to the point I was alluding to, I see before me an elf, a human, lizard folk, a construct, a Goliath and orc mix, perhaps. But beyond that, individuals.
I would like to go on the record as being a walrus.
And the walrus, of course.
Yeah.
And who the hell is an Eggman? And what is an Eggman?
And-
I want to know where the Eggman is.
And you can see
Here's
you can
a
see
little clue
Yes,
for you all.
potentially.
give a little
The walrus was Paul.
give a little
That's right.
snuff. And
Thank you for the glass onion reference.
I believe I also see Coco Kachu
Yeah.
on your shoulder. there.
Coco Kachu.
Coco Kachu. So, you may have placed yourselves at a disadvantage if you view us as an assembly of dragons. Our
Not an assembly, but a council. And
council.
in the council, each member has a voice.
Each member does have a voice, but we do not represent all dragons together. We individually represent our lineages, our colors. To us, gold, bronze, brass are as different as elf, dwarf, and human may be to you. That there would be different attitudes is a given. We are as different amongst the 5 of us here as you would consider, I think, an elf or a dwarf to be.
To be fair, I guess when you asked what we considered you allies and comrades, as I consider my friends here.
I do not consider you an ally or a comrade yet. We share a concern. You may be an ally. I've not learned that yet. I've only come to observe you recently. To be an ally are to align, would agree upon a course of action, or at least agree to work together on it. Now, you, I suspect, believe we wish to act against this cult of the dragon. Do you think the cult itself is of a concern to us?
I guess from like our point of view, like we just recently became aware that anybody else cared. Like
Including you. Right, Rob? Right?
Yeah, for a bunch of like, how long have we known each other? A couple days, couple months. But
You spent about a year on the road and traveling, so it's been a year
okay.
plus. But
I just think it's a funny joke to keep coming back to. But that we and for the longest time, like, I mean, Harpers have been sort of a help, sort of a pain in the ass, and the Lord's Alliance has been a help, but like they're all self-interested. We know that. We've just been acting on our own, right? And I look over at everybody like, so we're sitting here trying to prove ourselves to people where we weren't even really looking for allies. And glad to have them. Glad to have them. Glad there's people that want to do this too. Dragon people or humanoids or whatever, any of the folk that want to help. That's great, but I just sort of like we were gonna do what we could anyway. We're probably gonna lose.
Yeah.
I mean, learning what we learned about what was happening near shows folk, there was no way we were gonna do anything there. But
But
we still would have tried,
but
I think.
but to answer your pointed question, no, I don't believe that this is about the cultists. And I'm not sure. It's not about the cultist, because the cultist, as I think it was it Protanther that said that this was just all about the humans until it wasn't. So what made it change? So somebody's doing something to dragons, and that's what makes it a problem.
Identified the root situation. For some weeks now, months, daily, not hourly, a painful noise has rung through our ears. Crackhorn. That is what awoke us to the issue. Now, my kin, metallic dragon. It is a grating on us, a annoyance, something that is quite difficult to ignore and disturbs my meditation, if nothing else. The chromatic dragons, distant cousins. To them, it is much like the rages of centuries past. It drives their wits from their minds. It raises in them grief, raises in them action, and it dulls their senses. They are now gathered in numbers unheard of. Black dragons within miles of one another. That would be a reason for death. Colors intermingle. Mountains. That is not natural. So we have become concerned. It's because it has grown from a matter of dragons. The cult has caused a concern for dragons. We intend to act against the dragons and deal with whatever issue it is between the Drakhorn that's caused them this way. That is where our concerns lie. That is what we must act against. The imbalance that the chromatics come to represent. You have been acting against the cult. A good deed, perhaps of your own choice, perhaps out of the situation that resulted. Perhaps from the situations that resulted from your actions. Now, together, we could act against the cult and the dragon. There may be benefit in that. Phanthor, Taz, they see risks. Demur sees opportunity. Elia, she, I think, is in favor of it. I wish to hear all the options. Is there any benefit to you in our assistance? If we simply strike at the dragons and eliminate that threat, have you any further need of us? Would our efforts be best kept separate? Or is there benefits for us working together?
This is the most straightforward and helpful summation of the issue that I've heard yet today. Thank you.
I spend a great time thinking through puzzles. Framing them up is part of the fun.
Sorry, my son just like, hey, check out what I'm doing. I'm in the middle of roleplay.
And you know what, by the way, Paul, I am just so jealous of you and your rain. Look at that. I see thunder going on behind you.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got a
And lightning.
got
It
it
just
here
looks
too.
awesome.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, that looks great.
Yeah, you guys are in the middle of the drought, aren't you? You guys are in, like,
Always.
scorching. Yeah.
I don't know what rain is anymore, so it's a good reminder.
We've had a lot, but yeah, I mean, not to be like almost a little bit nervy today when I was driving over Lake Butamore. Like, oh,
Yeah.
water's high. So anyway,
You ask
How's the
what
water?
you ask what benefits might come from an alliance, and you ask many things, but this is the most recent, and the benefit might be that the whole is always greater than the parts if we can work together. But that is a question, and I don't know the answer. I don't know if we can work together in a way that is cohesive and makes the whole greater than the parts. I would like to think that we can. I hope that we can, because having allies in this fight will make a world of difference. As Chiquito says, we have fought alone a lot, and we have come to rely on one another. You asked us what we are together, and we are a family. And if any one of my friends here were to tell you we would do something, then that is as good as me giving my word. And I would think that they would all stand by my word as well in the same way. I trust them all with my life, and I would give my life for them. And I would like to think that we could have such an alliance amongst all of us, because I do think this threat is great. I don't know if that is true, and I don't know if it can be done, because as you point out, and as so many of your kin here have pointed out, we cannot speak for the motives of all of the mortals. But I will repeatedly say that the mortals have created a lot of this problem and should shoulder the responsibility to some degree of fixing it. And I would hope that we can do that together.
Now, that was said, and the sentiment is felt. But allow me to pose you a question. Speak of working together. I've heard that you have faced dragons before, felt our breath. You hear that we may go into battle with you. The other option, we go into battle without you. Some, perhaps not you, would hear that they have the chance to fight alongside something powerful. They would think that is the best choice. But go to face something powerful. Is it truly to your advantage to have us fighting with our kin as alongside you? Or would it be more to your advantage for us to deal with our kin? Deal with yours? Do you truly wish to be in a battle of dragons?
this is exactly what I have been thinking all day. Honestly, is we're doing everything we can why do we? I don't know. Like, it seems to me like we'll do what we can, and y'all can do what you can, and hopefully we meet in the middle in a way that's amenable to everybody.
But a this isn't a challenge that can be broken apart like that.
Do we know that? Because I don't think we do.
I disagree. I think it can be.
Uh, okay.
No.
I I I don't know about that. And here's why. Because clearly it's the actions of the humanoids that is creating. I'm just going to say it. I've already said I'm going to try and do something about it. The dragons in this are subject to an influence that they are not able to overcome. You've said it yourself. And you are being prodded by an influence that may get to the point where you will also not be able to overcome that influence. No disrespect intended. And that wouldn't be happening if the humanoids weren't involved. So you take care of your kin. We're not going to be able to manage every single humanoid that's left, plus the cult. It's not going to go away. If we don't do this together and coordinate one thing or the other, it's possible to be completely out of control and unstoppable after a certain point because it's happening because of it's not necessarily a concerted effort, but humans are exploiting a weakness for reasons of their own, or something is.
Have remarkable insight. I've reached as well. There is an influence being exerted upon my distant cousins. I believe one of you held that point of influence. These masks that the cult wears. It seems to grant them an equality, dragonkind. The ability to speak the chromatic dragons as if they were also dragons, to speak with the voice of our shared mother. That they benefit I would see to our arrangement if we were to deal with the dragons and you were to deal with the cult. We could look to you to recover those masks and turn them over to someone capable of dealing with them. Humanity has shown such responsibility is a bit beyond them.
Does it need to be all of humanity, or can it be a small number of humanoid entity?
You have allowed the situation to reach this point. Humanity as
But that's not entirely fair. We have been working very hard against it.
as a
I got a
whole,
ding right here to prove it.
as a whole, humanity has allowed this to occur. Individually, you've striven mightily, and if all of you were as long-lived as I believe your warforged friend would be, then I would be happy to leave it in your care. But, unlike your Eberron, fade. So I would see it given to those who do not fade and do not have the ability to do such evils.
That doesn't sound like it would be dragons either.
I travel the plains, and I'm familiar with several entities that can be trusted with such relics. I would see them scattered to those entities to reduce the chance, if one were to fail, that all the masks would be taken again. I also have a fondness for puzzles.
I apologize, and I know. I mean, we have a sense that these masks are getting brought together for something, but we have not found out what that is. I mean, we could assume it's bad, and I mean, with just all the different colors, whatnot, we have assumptions. But can you tell us what exactly you feel or might be happening with these masks?
These masks have considerable power to them. From what I understand, the cult's propaganda, they seek to return Tiamat from the Hells. Do not know if that is within the capabilities of the mask, but even summoning an avatar of Tiamat or other incarnation could be quite disastrous. That they're able to unbalance my cousins is quite enough.
Yep.
So, that's the benefit I see of working with your people. Cover the masks, something that 50 dragons cannot do. 5,000 humans might.
5,000 humanoids?
Oh,
5?
working with your people as represented by the council. Your army's number, and I'm saying the numbers at random because I don't remember what the real number is, but I'm going to say somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 is the number of total amount that they could possibly source up if everything went your way. Um, but that is something that working with your council, I would see as a benefit. That doesn't benefit you, though.
Eh,
Well, not having an avatar of Tiamat benefits us.
Of course, but again, if we strike at the dragons and you strike individually at the cult, that leaves you in possession of some powerful relics.
Yes. And unless we're working together, what reason would we have to give them to you?
What reason indeed?
what reason would they have not to take them from us?
What reason would keep them? They serve one purpose, and it is to bring Tiamat back.
Yeah.
Well, if we can't be trusted to keep them, which is what I'm hearing you say, we can't be trusted to keep them.
I am saying we cannot be trusted to keep them.
I'm not arguing about that either.
Excellent.
Clearly,
So
we can't be trusted to keep them as a whole.
we're agreed then on what should be done with the masks, and that is enough for me to see advantage in this. But the riddle I would pose to you as you go and speak with your council is, what advantage do we provide to you?
Uh, that's a whole lot of firepower y'all represent that we don't have.
Absolutely. And if Prothantor has his way, we will be on the wing shortly after this meeting. But we'll not be working with you. We will simply be striking at the dragons, razing that area to the ground with some consideration for the nature of the station, and then returning to our lairs.
Is it?
How about you? What would you want done for this whole deal?
If the dragon masks can be given over, I would agree we should work together. I feel it would be far too easy for a handful of the cultists to spirit them away during our attack.
So we have an apology from the elves. We have the masks. We have
Flipping to DM mode now. So a fair and simple deal. So Taz would like you to just say, hey, it's an even split for all parties involved, and the dragons will handle the evaluation.
Yep.
And then Nimmer is just like, humans are great.
And we're going to have Dragon Day in Waterdeep somehow.
Dragon
or
Day in
another. The
Waterdeep?
Mythal will be gone.
We will find a way to get Dragon Day.
So what does Ellie want?
So Elia, so we'll kind of hop over to the conversation with Elia.
Hold on.
hold on.
Hey, are you more what's your taste? You more complex, or you like the straight shooting?
When you ask, he sort of like reaches down and licks his arm for a second, gives it a little bit of conversation.
Mm.
Say, I taste electric. Woogie woogie.
Well, get down on this. Just gonna
And
give you.
he just sort of like reach like kick like with claws and like he's holding a berry between like human-sized claws and fries it up. Good berry. Interesting. Tell me, did you model this after something from the Sword Coast or more from your home in Eberron? Bunk.
I'll tell you once you tell
And
me how
he
you,
just
if
did.
you like it or not.
Dropped it in. And he's sort of like he's sort of like nomming on it a little bit. Do you have a sense of taste?
When I'm a horse.
That would explain it.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've spent
That's
some.
harsh. The reason why I
spent
ask is
time.
I really can't taste. I'm really asking you what it tastes like.
No, I understand. I've actually spent some time as a horse myself, and this was reminiscent of what I tasted in that way. You shape change rather often. There's some other hints in there.
Yep.
Yes. She
Perhaps
tastes
a little cultist.
and as he goes, he just whoosh rabbit holes. Talking about how different forms and shapes affect different taste buds, and he can detect that you were basing this off of having different tongues. So he's really deeply in there.
Amazing.
Mm.
That's amazing.
Do you like it?
It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. I would
Filling?
say as you're developing this, you
Yeah.
may wish to develop a flavor, a single type of creature, one that's either carnivore or one that's an herbivore or one that's an omnivore. The blending of the palates, it makes it. I'm going to say it's a little fleshier than some might prefer.
A little gamey.
A little. It's. What's it like?
I'm taking all this into consideration, just so you know. I really am.
I've had corpse flower, and
Ooh,
this tastes
that
like
can't be good.
This tastes like a berry that might come from such a plant. Now that has a very pungent smell, but
Is that good?
flesh of
That
the
means you can
plant's
smell
actually-
it. That
Yes,
smell,
yes.
pungent means you
Very
it's really
big
strong.
smell.
It means it's good.
But the flesh of the plant is actually quite delectable if prepared, and he gives you like a recipe for corpse flower.
Oh.
So.
Wow.
But then he's basically out of things to say at the moment.
Corpse flower does not sound good.
A recipe for corpse flower.
Recipe for corpse flower added. And the party gets a little bit of downtime, and then they're able to meet up with Elia. Elia switches back to her human form to speak with you. And in fact, as you're talking, she says, we can go sit in your room where there's chairs. Or would you prefer?
That would be lovely.
And she goes over.
Could we instead go out to where we can see the landscape?
Oh, of course. And she leads you out, and It's a bit brisk for some folks. You're high up in the mountains. There's snow moving about. The weather's fairly nice and clear. You're above most of the fog and clouds that are going on. And says it is actually quite lovely up here. I don't get to the north nearly often enough. But what can we do for you today?
Joe will sit and look out, and that's it.
Rob's gonna sit next to Show.
Yaz is going to sit next to the dragon. She just wanted to hang out. How you doing? How's your day?
Reasonably good. I got a little nap in and the wings are feeling good.
Hey,
Oh,
Elia.
that's
Yeah.
How do you think it's gonna go tomorrow for us? You think we're gonna? I mean, we haven't really. To be frank, to be fair, we really haven't really even talked to Waterdeep that much. We've kind of come here trying to find out as for ourselves. How do you think we're gonna do
Oh,
tomorrow?
I know. Leos and the others were fairly transparent that they were going to be arguing over representatives for some weeks. But you would do in a pinch. It's
Rob laughs.
it pleased Prothanter that you might be less than the ideal choice. He would prefer this conversation to break down, I think. So we're approved on both sides through a technicality, I think. But personally, I would like to see as few of my friends die as possible. And I think working together, we stand the best chance of having the least number of casualties, proportionally.
Elia, we've heard a lot of stuff about. We've heard a lot of things today about how dragons think and how they feel. You have to do what you think is good, right? You have no like that. That just happens, right?
That's a bit of a simplification, but yes.
Okay. If you were representing a city, a people, would you go into negotiations with the council without talking to them first?
If it was for their own good, perhaps.
Yeah.
In this particular situation, I don't know that you have much of a choice.
Oh man, we could talk to some people there.
Oh, of course, and I would recommend checking back in and making what arrangements you can, but I suspect some of my kin will have some unreasonable demands for you. They will be good-natured.
Suspect
We
them.
can't do anything
Okay.
else than that. But they will serve the ends that they're looking for.
I see.
Bad ends.
One more time.
They are not bad ends. They're not evil ends.
Oh, no, it would be almost impossible for that to happen.
Almost.
Oh, of course. Everyone can be deceived.
Hmm. Well, we've been asked to do more impossible things before, I think.
We have a
Suppose that's
lot
a good
asked.
sign.
We have a lot of things asked of us over the past year.
That is what I understand what heroes are meant to do. And, well, the Yozen certainly speaks of you like your heroes.
Well,
Onthar acknowledges much the same. Dagalt, says whatever will make him money.
The
Then we must
Ocean's
be
not
heroes.
really the best judge of most things.
It's interesting. I never would have considered, at least definitely not myself, a hero.
Yeah, me neither.
Show for sure. She's like,
Yeah.
show you're pretty badass. Me not so much, but I don't know. Just the idea of being recognized as a hero feels strange, and
Well,
I don't know
If
how to
I
yes.
am a
react to it.
hero, it is only because of you, because of all of you, because I could not do anything that I do without you.
Well, let me, if you don't mind, maybe my information is wrong. Yaz,
Hmm?
did you not free your people from slavery?
I suppose I did.
I believe in most tales that would count for something heroic.
Huh.
Now,
Nice work there, yes.
I believe that you dealt a rather collectively a rather strong blow to the cult, assaulting a flying castle and defeating a half dragon. That was you all, correct?
Well, to be fair, though, part of that was not heroic. That was just he was a dick.
History
mean-
does tend to paint a brighter colors than reality does, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I
Rob
mean, that guy
Oakes,
was really a jackass.
if you were to tell a tale of a company that assaulted a flying castle, and struck down great evil,
There'd be a couple lines about that guy being a dick in it. I'm just saying.
but
She is right, though. We have done heroic deeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all together,
oh, yes,
not any of us not individually. When you say one is a hero and others are not, you're wrong. If we have done heroic deeds as a group.
oh, I would tend to agree that collectively,
I'm sorry, Ellie. I am not arguing with you. I'm arguing with Yes.
well, collectively, we could say you're all heroes, and therefore individually, you would each be heroes.
Yes, that is my point.
And with that, people will exploit that. They will place burdens upon you.
Or
Yeah.
convince you to take them on for yourself.
Or do that. Now, I appreciate heroes so long as they don't get carried away with themselves.
Have we
Seems
done
to be
that
the
yet?
problem. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Carried away with their own self-righteousness. Perhaps I should
Oh,
say.
no,
I wouldn't say that.
that
I'd
doesn't
say
seem to be the problem, no.
That
No.
that's something that I have been trying very hard to overcome. I started there.
And
Ah,
that's, if I had one, would be my concern with humanity as a whole is they perhaps overgeneralize. And I have seen humanity treat dragonkind as one beast. I knew Chuth. We fought. We tested over territory. Chuth is dead. You've killed a dragon.
Yes.
There are some who would label you dragon slayers and consider you heroes for that. There are some who don't draw a distinction between a green dragon, a black dragon, a red dragon, and some who don't draw a distinction with silver dragons. I've lost family heroes. I don't see it as a concern for you. I don't see it as a concern for most who would march with you.
Do you mean it's not a concern as in we wouldn't care that you had lost family?
No, I mean, I don't see you as the sort of people who would become carried away with the title of Dragon Slayer and begin hunting dragons.
Oh,
Don't
no,
want
that
that
seems
title.
stupid.
It is true that we have slain a dragon, but we did not kill it because it was a. We did not kill him because he was a dragon. We killed him because he was terrorizing Anoren's people. We
And
killed him because we felt we needed to protect others. And in that sense, I suppose we are dragon slayers in that we faced a dragon and slew it, but not out of a desire for the glory of being a dragon slayer.
I believe that, to put some words into your mouth, you could say that you killed Chuth because Chuth was a bad person. Chuth was doing evil.
I have known many bad people that I have not needed to kill. But Chuth was endangering and killing innocents.
Yes. And
Not just a powerful person.
yes, and that is what
More
concerns
than
me.
a bad person, a dangerous person.
Someone that had the power that could, with one fell swoop, murder and hurt many, many people.
And did.
And that is what I appreciate about you, but also what concerns me about others. If join in our council, if you join in our assault, you are likely to train and equip dragon slayers. Arrows will be made to kill dragons. Swords will be made to kill dragons. People will gain renown for having been party to the killing of a dragon. They will learn of the size of a dragon's hoard. And if they do not have the wisdom to understand the difference, to see that they are killing a person for having done wrong, and not a beast for having been a dragon, they might look to my horde, to the hordes of my family. Now, I do not think that risk outweighs the value having with us. I think fewer of us all will die, even training dragon slayers. But I would ask that you do whatever you can to see that those who are trained in such an art understand differences and recognize that they are killing people.
I come from orc blood. I know this pain.
I oh, Rob, did you ever learn how to kill somebody? You
Like,
killed somebody, but did you actually set
yeah,
out to learn how to kill somebody?
that's a complicated question. Because I didn't put a bow on my back and learn to shoot a humanoid just because I was hungry. Some of it's kill or be killed. Does that change the equation?
Well, I think that if you learn to change the bow on your back from something that you use to get food and eat, oh, I don't want to get too deep and philosophical because it hurts my head.
Frank,
And
I mean, honestly, I started with a sling and it wasn't that great.
Jumps.
For
and you
jumps.
didn't even want to use it, but
No, because they're for jumps. But what I'm saying is, I didn't put, I, I didn't go out to kill people, but I also know there were people who would kill me.
but Chiquito, you were taught to kill people. You were built to kill people, right? I'm sorry to say it that way.
Yeah.
And I gladly volunteered to learn how to kill people because I was bored. And so I think the difference in Chiquito and Show, I think, would probably also understand this, is that we had to be taught not to forget that we were killing people. And the way that we had to do that was people that were teaching us had to teach us how to not forget that we were killing people. Otherwise, Show couldn't feel about protecting people the way that she does. So I think if we want to train people how to kill dragons, then dragons have to be people to them and remain people to them. And the only way I can see that happening is having dragon teachers. Can you teach how to kill dragons? Is that something
Dragon
you can
Day.
even do?
Dragon Day. Sorry.
I think that would be an excellent idea. Lack of a better word, humanize us with those who are training. That would go quite a ways to allaying my fears, and I think would be quite beneficial to the troops. Learning to shoot at a wicker basket shaped like a dragon is one thing. I'd also have a little bit of fun growling at them. So, with that, I think the conversation with Elliot continues on a little while. A good berry is probably presented at some point along the line, since that seems to be
Very important.
our
Very
closing
important.
set.
Very important.
What do
Uh,
you think? I'm gonna give you 3. Just here you go. You could choose the one that you like best.
and she sort of like puts it on her thumb, pops it up in the air, catches it between her teeth before chomping down on it, and does each one in turn. She's like, "Oh, they're different flavors."
Yeah.
And it's quite nice.
Oh, good. You feel it.
That one got a little bit of a kick stuck in my teeth. Um, so you return to your room. You have a little bit of time to converse.
Definitely check in the cupboards.
Check it in the cupboards. You open up the cupboards, and now that you're like not just looking for like, oh hey, oh good, bread and cheese, you're like,
Mhm.
oh ooh neat. And there is a whole spread, and as you're like, oh, now it makes sense why there's several sets of the cookware and they're done in different styles. There's a little bit of competition going on behind the scenes to see what got used, what got eaten. Um, so somebody wasn't supposed to tell you that, but you know.
I'm going to make sure something from everything is used because Yaz would do that.
And
Absolutely.
I'm gonna
knowing-
eat everything.
And
Uh-huh.
there's a
And I'll
there's
wash.
a lot to work your way through.
Chiquito, you should become like a bear and just eat it all.
Oh.
Yes.
Excellent.
Then there's no competition.
I
So,
do.
We will start to bring this session to a close. My plan is for next week to give the party probably some time to check in back to Waterdeep, get some concepts together. We'll then go into the council meeting itself, and that'll probably be most of next week, and then possibly jump to a meeting or review with the council members. My basic plan is you'll have the Council of Dragons, then you'll do a little bit of travel transport, and have a meeting with the Council of Waterdeep to present what you've come up with in person. There, of course, is complications that will show up, so we'll see how the complications affect things. But that's kind of where we'll be at. So next week we'll be coming back with some options there. Bloodmist Hunter, hey, thanks for stopping by. If you like chatting, we've got all kinds of stuff going on in the Discord all the time, and more D&D than you can shake a stick at. We will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel, D&D 5e, Tyranny of Dragons. We got a bunch of community games going on. I see the back scratchers are in play out there. So that's about it.
I have to represent.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Blood Mist is already in there. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I forgetting to talk about? We did our Jasper's Game Day already. We raised $1,600 plus on that, so thanks go out to everyone there. We've got a lot of us will be going to Gamehole Con in October, so anybody who has an opportunity, we'd love to see more folks there. What was the thing that just went up? Paul, did you throw up a one-shot? Somebody threw up something.
I did. I have a one-shot Call of Cthulhu on July
30th.
31st.
Excellent.
31st.
31st. Somewhere in there. So
if you wanted to try Call of Cthulhu, that would be a good night.
Excellent. And with that, we will say good night, everybody. Thanks for swinging around. And we're going to go ahead and hit the stop streaming button. Wait, let's see if we got anybody out here. If I can figure out how to raid real quick.
Break time is now really over.
Break time is now
Break
really
time
over.
is over.
Oh, no!
It's no longer almost over.
Wow.
It was been up there the whole
He was talking
time.
about it.
Yeah.
Just you
It's
gotta
going
wave
on
at me. I get
forever.
distracted. And all right, that's the thing that happened. Looks like
Hey,
Creative
Ray.
Rejects is over there. Can we raid
You should
Creator?
read the chat, Casey. Just read the chat.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, look at all that stuff.
Alex is rating.
There
Yay!
is a raid.
Yay!
Alex has initiated raid.
Thank you,
Raid
Alex.
sequence.
Raid
Initiated.
engaged.
He had to hire an